Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. I am a fucking amazing person, and you should bow down before me. Have I given myself the big up there? Maybe.
Yes.
Joining me I did not give you permission to speak yet. Joining me as ever, it would not be a happy hour without her. It's Deutschland, Booberales. Dr. Christy Winters, how are you?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well. One thing I didn't tell you about because I had a whole health week last week. I had various medical procedures.
Yes.
And so I can rate the prep side for colonoscopy 2 out of 10. Not fun. Don't go into work that day. Just I plan to be near a toilet when they start giving you
no.
They give you like a liter. Honestly, it's a liter amount of liquid to drink in an hour.
1 liter.
1 liter, yeah.
Because you were saying leader, and I was like,
a liter,
well, like,
a liter,
like,
a liter.
Like, take us to your leader. What the fuck is like this?
A liter, and you have to drink it in an hour, and then it takes about 3.5 hours to move its way out of your system.
Right.
Ugh, not fun.
No,
but
not fun.
The drugs during the procedure, 10 out of 10. Those were some awesome drugs, and I almost made the whole thing worth it.
True, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, they're like, you're going to feel a little dizzy, and then we wish you very pleasant dreams. And then she kind of like pushed in the drugs, and I started to feel a little dizzy. And then I went to this warm, dark, safe place where it was only happy thoughts. And then I was all kind of giggly when they roused me and put me in the wheelchair and wheeled me over to the recovery area. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my father tells me the delightful story of when he was having his thing. He was being shoved technically in the other way, in through his penis. And so he had quite a lot of drugs to deal with that situation. And apparently he was decidedly homophobic during his thing.
Like in what way?
He was apparently, because he was obviously out of his fucking head, so it wasn't him saying it. He was just going like, he said something like, I've heard this is what the gays do or something like that to the doctor, because he was like stoned off his fucking tits, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, how can they like this?
Oh, I was not conscious. I was eyes closed. Time ceased to exist. It's a linear function.
See, this is the thing. This is the sexual dimorphism thing. When you're a big bloke, they don't like putting you completely under, because they have to give you so much of the drugs that it's actually dangerous.
I wasn't under like in an operation. I don't know what cocktail he gave me, but it was a happy cocktail.
A happy cocktail.
Yeah,
well, Chris is always happy with cock.
Yeah, I saw actually on Instagram, I think it was, someone was kind of conscious during some procedure that they were doing on their stomach, and the doctor opened his hand and like reached across their body for a scalpel or something from the nurse, and the patient like went and made the second part of a heart symbol. And the nurse slapped it away, and she looked like really stunned but also high. And then the doctor reached again, and she made another one. And the nurse pushed it away and handed him the thing. And then the patient started laughing. She's like, "Oh, I thought you wanted to make the heart symbol."
Play Dancy, play Benny Shapiro being owned by the dude. Much love to Dr. Winters.
So anyway, if you're 50 or older, go get a colonoscopy because it's important.
True. I mean, to be fair, I am an amateur colonoscopist myself.
Stop it.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
But only as deep as your finger goes.
Or my tongue. Whichever. I will check you for swelling, and if there isn't any, I'll put some there. Hey-oh! That's an anal sex joke. In case anyone was wondering about the cryptic nature of what I just said. Yeah? Okay. Thank you, Kieran with bits. Thank you, Cupcake Chaos, for resubscribing. For 1 million months, that's too many.
Wow, so many.
And thank you. We're on a hype train. If we get to level 2 of the hype train, I will finger all bumholes in the world.
Oh! Other thing that happened.
Go on then.
Today, after 3 attempts,
yeah,
I finally posted my ballot, and I posted it.
Oh, vote for Jill Stein then. Cool.
Yeah, good. Posted it like the most expensive way to get there, so it'll get there by Thursday. I think I paid 78 euros.
Right.
But the stupid part was it took 3 weeks just for them to get my letter asking for my absentee ballot to Wisconsin, which is insane.
To be fair, though, like delivering stuff to not civilized places does take longer.
It went to New York and stayed in New York for like 10 days.
Exactly. Why would you want to leave? Why would you want to leave New York to go to Milwaukee?
Yeah, it used to take like 3 or 4 days. But
Yeah.
anyway, went on Saturday. The post office inexplicably closed. There we go. It wasn't the exact same one, but it's very similar. And then went yesterday, got everything filled out.
Very different.
Similar.
Very
very
different.
similar.
Very different vibes there.
I was not awake. My eyes were not open. I was not interacting with the world at all.
Yeah.
But I got everything done, and then he asked me for my passport or my identification. I'm like,
Why?
to send a letter?
Yeah, to send
Yeah.
a letter. You don't need a fucking passport to send
Well,
a letter.
apparently you do.
Why? What?
I don't know.
That-
I honestly do not know. And then I went today and did it a
Well,
third
surely,
time.
if anyone needs the passport, it's the letter.
It's
It's the one crossing international borders. Why am I having to apply for a passport for me when I'm not leaving anywhere?
So then
These
in order
fucking
to get
immigrant
it,
letters coming over here, taking up space in our postman's sacks. That
yeah,
is
taking up
double
time,
Yeah,
resources
exactly.
away from our local post.
Unbelievable.
And I had to like give my mobile number. I had to give my mom's phone number. It's like seriously.
What? To send
Yeah.
a fucking letter?
To send it, yeah. Well, I mean, it had 2 little magnets in it from the Monet experience to say thank you for helping me with my,
Well, that
cast
could be
my
terrorist
ballot.
related, yeah.
Yeah,
Please
2
don't.
small pieces of magnetic metal with
Well,
some
you could
Monet art
hide
on
you
it.
could hijack a plane with that.
Yeah, okay, apparently. So, but it went off. It's off. It's off now. It should arrive Thursday, which means they'll go on Friday. Then there'll be Saturday, Monday, and then Tuesday's the election. So, should have plenty of time to get across town in Fond du Lac.
That's not a real name, obviously.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's just a
Fond-
sound Christy just made. That's really obviously
Rudolph.
not a real place.
Sort of like foot
Clearly.
of the lake, bottom of the lake. Sort
Bristol.
of like, yes. It's
Yeah.
French.
You know what's really annoyed me, right?
Oh, the world, everyone in
Well,
it.
literally everything, yes. But I wanted to bring back, because we hadn't done a show for a little while, so I wanted to bring back Jizz Watch,
Oh yeah, yeah.
right?
Wh-
So I
what
looked
happened
into
to
it. I looked into it, and Jizz Horncamp still hasn't scored this season.
Oh, jizz.
Fucking useless.
We need Jizz to score.
He hasn't come once
What?
all season.
That's ridiculous.
Pathetic.
I do feel proud. I did manage to turn a German friend into a Packers fan. So that
Is
was
that
fun.
well? That's not good, is it? Why is that a good thing?
Well, I mean, he can also. I'm just like spreading the suffering around now.
I was about to say, yeah. Poor form, Christo. Why have you inflicted this upon your friend?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no Jizz horn camp, but it is more sport.
Yes. But first, Christy, before we do anything,
Oh, by the way, we're going to be live next week. This time, probably a little bit later.
yeah, I think way later. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
no
it's
point
done.
coming on until after the polls have closed.
I just realized I'm going to need to ask off on a vacation. It's a good thing I have like still 10 days of holiday left in the calendar year because I'm going to need one for next Wednesday.
Yeah.
I might be drinking myself into oblivion to forget the pain of the fascism that's about to be, or I might be celebrating, or we might be waiting because election fuckery, like ballots being set on fire.
Also, let's be honest, Cenk is probably not going to win.
Oh, our Paul Revere of democracy.
I think I've come to that conclusion. America,
Okay.
you passed up, you fumbled a bad
Yeah.
bitch. Okay.
Yeah,
But you know
we
who
missed
didn't
our
fumble?
opportunity. Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
Fit re-lyricist YMCA to sing Yes I'm Prop 36.
what happened to her hair?
Don't know.
Is that a wig?
Californians, why are you feeling so down?
Oh my God! That's...
So she changed young men into Californians.
And
All
then,
straight away, first word, amazing.
yeah, and then there's no. She's not on the beat at all.
Nope.
Just the beat
I
is
said
under there. She's just free floor forming, just all over the place.
It's like jazz, Christy. It's not the beats you hit, it's the beats you don't hit.
Yes.
Californians, make sure to cast your vote. I said Californians, cause the crimes have let us down. There's need to vote yes on 36 Californians.
No.
Why doesn't she move to Montana or someplace run by Republicans? I think she'd be happier.
Oh, I'm not even. I can't even get my head around the politics of it because it's just wank. We did when someone actually linked this to me. I was like, "What the fuck's Prop 36?" It's
Yeah, that's what I was just looking
it's
up.
some like allow the police to beat up homeless people or something. You know, one of those things. And being that it's California, and when it comes to the crime, for some reason they turn into Anna Kasparian. I don't know why. It's very possible it'll pass. But like. Just the scanning of all of the words. Why don't you choose a song where the words you want to say might fit?
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
choose a song where they demonstrably do not, and then still do it? There's a million songs with all kinds of different lengths of sentences and syllables at the end of words. Like, Danzy, I could write better songs than this. I'm not going to because you're scum and I despise you, but I could.
Well, also, here's the thing about this, right? So I'm at the California Legislature's Nonpartisan Fiscal Policy Advisor website.
That sounds so banal, it's bound to be the most horrific thing imaginable.
No. It's actually like the Nonpartisan Fiscal and Policy.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so in 2014, Prop 47 changed some theft and drug crimes from felonies to misdemeanors.
Right.
For example, shoplifting worth less than $950 from a store and drug possessions generally became misdemeanors. Proposition 36 makes several key changes related to punishments for theft and drug crimes. First, it increases punishments for some of these crimes. Second, it creates a new treatment-focused court process for some drug possessions. Third, it requires courts to warn people convicted of selling or providing illegal drugs to others that they can be charged with murder if they keep doing so and someone dies.
Okay.
So it's kind of like...
it doesn't sound as horrific, to be honest.
Yeah, it's still got some bullshit in it. Like, it makes the current theft of less than $950 a felony, and if a person has 2 or more past convictions for crimes such as shoplifting, burglary, or carjacking, the sentence would be up to 3 years in jail or state prison. So they undo some of the changes. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like there's stuff that should be put on referenda.
Yeah.
And things that should just be left to policymakers to actually debate. And when you're like we're going to change this to a felony, and we're going to, if in these conditions, we're going to change it to like a 3 sentences. And that was just the first section.
Yeah.
Like, that's way too much.
That's quite complicated.
You can't ask people to vote on that shit. They don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure I would support them being able to tie their own shoelaces, Americans. So, yeah.
True. At least 47% of them.
Well, indeed. John, bless your heart, asks the legitimate question, I believe, is Cenk still in the Democratic race? Cenk was never really in the Democratic race because
he's not an American.
Yeah, as a person born in Turkey, he's literally legally not allowed to become president. Now, I think that's a silly rule. I don't think that's necessary at all. But that is the rule. Until it changes, Cenk is as likely as I am to become president of the United States.
You know, if they repealed that, Elon Musk would run for president.
True, although I did hear some nonsense back in the day about how they were going to get rid of it so that Arnold Schwarzenegger could run.
Yeah, it's hard to get rid of it. It's very difficult to get rid of a constitutional amendment.
Well, exactly, yeah.
It's
And
like
understandably, like I don't mind it having a very high threshold. I think it should be difficult to do that. Otherwise, like, if you allow a small percentage of wankers to do stuff, like, if you allowed just Congress to do it, or just the president or something like that, imagine what Trump and the fucking GOP would have done to the Constitution already. Like, it should be very difficult to change that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to just willy-nilly, like, change a fundamental... Like, it should take some work to make a change that big.
Although I'm still not entirely sure how fucking alcohol prohibition got passed. How did 2/3 of the states go? That's a good idea.
It was a bit of a hysteria, I think. It was combined with like a revivalism at the time, so a bunch of fucking weirdo Christians were also like on a tear. And initially it started off
thankfully that's never been a thing in the recent present. Yeah.
It was initially like a women's movement, but then men realized they could make money off of it and become famous, and I think they took it over.
True. But thankfully it got repealed and that. So
yeah.
That was nice. Because literally every state went, this is bollocks. It's not working at all.
Oh yeah, it was such a stupid idea to begin with.
Like, alcohol usage didn't go down, but deaths by alcohol went through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. What a fantastic, what a great job. Again, Christian hysteria leading to bad policy. Thankfully, that hasn't happened in America ever since.
No, we've been a very, very calm,
Stable
very rational,
genius nation.
very mindful, very demure.
True. Talking of very demure,
Mm.
Danzy.
Oh,
Lots
yes.
of flesh and drugs. I said California's where there are many legal drugs. You can stay there. I'm sure you will find rampant theft
There's no need to feel
and
down.
drug
I say comrade. Take your gun off the
trafficking.
ground. I say comrade.
Hang on.
Put the fash in the ground with Comrade K.
Really?
Vin.
Hang on
No,
1 second.
Yan.
Right. She's so loud and shit that it was so loud I didn't hear the fucking voice thing going off.
Oh, God.
So someone just gave me a message. I didn't hear it. I don't think anyone else heard it. You can't get a refund, so shut up. But no one heard what you said.
What did they say, though?
I have no idea. I'd have to
Oh,
go
this
into
is-
my fucking PayPal to find out, and I'm bollocks if I'm doing that live. Yeah. Masturbate-a-thon. What the fuck?
What? Is that on Twitch tonight?
The Masturbate-a-thon is an event in which participants masturbate to raise money and charity what the fuck? From 1998 to 2003, the Masturbate-a-thon raised nearly $25,000 for women's health initiatives and HIV prevention education. Okay. San Francisco sex toy shop Good Vibrations declared May to be Masturbation Month.
Yeah, I heard about that because there was a fight that the Onion had with then Governor Tommy Thompson.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you about this? Have I told you the story? I
Also,
probably-
is Tommy Thompson the laziest name ever?
It is pretty lazy.
Yeah.
So this was back in like the late 80s, 90s when Tommy Thompson was governor of Wisconsin, and the Onion was just coming out. It was still like a black and white paper that just had local ads for like bars on State Street and, you know, like cheap bed frames. And they had a headline that said, Governor declares October like a sodomy month or something
Oh,
like that.
yes, let's go.
And it was all about how he went before the state capitol, and he said, well, you know, sometimes we all do it, and all this kind of fun stuff. Oh, no, sorry. Governor declares an October month, or sorry, masturbation month, October masturbation month, and how he gives a speech, and the governor's office, like, wrote to them demanding a retraction, and because they didn't realize it was a satirical paper at the time.
Yeah.
So they went, the next week, they went, correction, governor declares November or October sodomy month. And they put him up in like a bunch of fetish gear. And they just like copy and pasted his head on someone with a bunch of like, you know, leather and spikes and shit. And they never heard from the governor's office again.
Amazing.
But yes, that's back when the Onion was good.
Yeah. Well, I remember Michael Moore back when he was good. Doing his show about then mayor of New York City, Rudolph Giuliani, who thankfully no one's ever heard of since.
Yeah,
But
except the people that he owes money to.
pre Four Seasons fame, he was mayor of a place called New York City.
New York City.
New York City. And he some weird thing where he tried to get the sex shops closed down by saying that like 50% of the things in there have to be non-sex related to try and like ruin their businesses.
Yeah.
And so that he opened up a sex shop with like dildos with his face on it. So they were saying it's political satire, so it doesn't count as a sex toy and stuff. It was a brilliant episode. It was lovely.
Oh, that's good.
That was from what, the mid 1990s, I believe.
Back in the day.
Indeed, when we were young. Thank you. Who said things? Thank you, Inky Black. Thank you, Kieran Saunders. Thank you, Big Zebra. Or I suppose technically zebra, because you're probably American, and thus are incorrect about the pronunciation of the word zebra. Just saying.
We got some property.
Oh!
We got some property.
That's just nowhere near the beat.
They have many things for you men to suffer. You don't want criminals, they all on streets. Let's take that beautiful California. Let's take that beautiful California.
She butchered this chorus so badly, I don't know at what bit it's supposed to be.
Exactly. And I don't know where the chorus ended and the next verse. Like, what's
I don't
part
think
of
the next
song?
chorus has started yet. I don't even think
okay.
that's happened. I think she's still at like the back end of the chorus or something. Like, it's oh my god, this is atrocious.
It's really bad.
We can make California safe. We can have good neighborhoods. We got to take back beautiful California. Californians, are you listening to
No, I nearly fucking choked on my own tongue there. Listen how far behind the start of the beat for the verse she is, right? Listen how long a gap there is between the doom for like the young man, that bit, right? The start of the next verse.
The actual
And
verse.
before she actually opens her fucking gob.
California? Californians, are you listening to me? I said, Californians, where do you want to live? I said,
Where do you wanna
Californians,
live?
you can
Where in
make your
California?
dreams, but
Yeah, presumably they want to live in California because that is the place they live. Like, you can, there are 49 other states and territories.
But they choose to be Californians.
Yeah, they live in California.
This is sort of implied.
Seemingly, it's quite popular. Apparently, it's one of the bigger geographic and population states.
Yes. It's got an economy, I think, bigger than the entire country of Germany.
Indeed, it would be, I think, something like the 8th most powerful economy on earth if it were an independent nation. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, look, I don't want to be rude, but I don't think that Kentucky is the economic powerhouse of the United States.
No.
No offence to the people of Louisville and the surrounding environs.
And the horses.
And the horses.
but you've got to vote yes on 36. No man does it over himself. I said, Californians, make sure to cast your vote. Go cast your vote. Vote yes on 36. I'm sure we...
She doesn't even know anymore where she is. She's just... this is... Look, do it... look, even if you're going to bollocks up the thing, right? Do it a second take. Because you clearly don't know what line you're even on anymore.
Just don't even call them Californians. Just call them Fornians. At least then it's
Fornians.
closer. Yeah.
Bruins.
Yeah. Bruins. Or Cali.
Yeah, Cali. I said Cali. That works.
Yep.
Californians, you'll notice, has significantly
So
more syllables than is really than young,
Young
men.
men. Two.
Yeah.
That's only two.
can help you today.
Oh my god.
Let's take back beautiful California. Let's take back beautiful California. We don't want...
I'm more than happy to pause it, yes.
Is she saying let's take back future for California? Not the future?
Yeah, it's not...
He knows better.
Syntactically, it's not great.
No.
No.
things for them to destroy. You can hang out with all the patrons. We got all years of
Wait, the who?
30s.
The pages?
The waitresses?
Hang on, yeah. Hang on. I don't even know what word she's using.
Does she put the lyrics underneath?
I don't think so. And lots of it's in Chinese. So I mean...
Okay.
what the fuck is any of this? I don't know.
Oh, transcript. Oh, no, that probably doesn't help at all.
No.
Transcript probably does not help.
No.
Hang out with all the patrons. We got
Patrons, I think. Patrons? Pages?
Can't tell. Unknown. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
more years of Prop 36. We got more years of Prop 36. We can make California safe. We can have good neighborhoods. We got to take that beautiful California.
Brilliant editing as well. Soupy duper.
Just cut that off. Yeah, just stop it immediately. Just don't let the fade out happen. Don't smile.
Amazing. Is all I can say to that. Genuinely amazing shit.
Whew.
Right.
Well,
so
she does not disappoint.
She does not know.
It's always so amazing and feels so good when she stops.
Very much so. Did I show you? Actually, just because it's on my desk. Did I show you the gift my mother had given me?
New?
Yeah, amazing thing. I've shown everyone in chat. You'll have to watch with me live though, because I don't have to share it or whatever. Well, right. I'll tell you the story. My young niece was sick, so we had to take her to the hospital.
No!
Drove her to the hospital. She's fine. She's fine.
Okay.
She was just throwing up all over my fucking back seat, the little cunt. Anyway, but she's fine now. Anyway, so we were at the hospital. My mum was there, and she was like, to sort of pass the time as we were waiting, she was like, "Oh, I've got a gift for you in the car." So I was like, "Okay then." So we walked down to the boot, or the trunk, the back bit, the bit where you store things in a car for Americans. And she pulled out this thing, and it's atrocious. I'll just show it.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting. It's a little bit lagged on Twitch. So.
Yeah, so it's this thing. It's a crocheted Sonic the Hedgehog. Again, as with the non-homemade Knuckles plushie that she brought for me, I have at no point in my entire life shown any real expression of interest in the Sonic the Hedgehog spread, right? So she gave me that, and she was like, oh yeah, because I've taken up crocheting again. And I went, again? When did this ever happen? And she was like, oh, before I had the children, one of whom she was speaking to. So like, that's nice being thought of in that way. Before I had the children, I used to crochet all the time. And then it clicked. Oh, that's why she wears all of those ugly as fuck crocheted jumpers in her old pictures. Because she's obviously
so mean.
No, they were fucking minging, mate. Honestly, absolutely. Like when she dolled up, she was a good-looking girl back in the day. Okay, I'm not knocking that. When she'd go for a night out, pictures that get taken, lovely stuff. But if it was just at home with the kids, ugly as fuck jumpers. I mean, just nasty shit. Because she used to make them herself, clearly, because it was cheaper. Anyway, the point being, she's taken up crocheting again, so I can expect more tat like this. Yes, and I've worked out, I think, that my younger brother, the father of two, one of whom, as mentioned, was throwing up in my back seat, the little bastard, which I had to clean up as well, by the way. I didn't agree to this. I agreed to the good bits of parenting, not the bad bits. As an uncle, I get to be fun uncle and then hand them back when they shit. That's it.
Yep. Or puke.
Or puke, or start crying, or just being annoying little bastards. Oh, back to mummy and daddy. See ya. Anyway, yes, I think he's told my mother, erroneously, that I like the Sonic the Hedgehog game franchise. Because now she's given me two gifts completely unrelated to anything from the past. Like she gave me the Paddington Bear stuffed toy that people will have seen in the background of my videos wearing a fez.
Yeah.
I put the fez on it, but she gave me that because that was related to the fact that she used to read us the Paddington the Bear stories when we were kids. So like, there's a thematic kind of reminiscence to her gift giving. Whereas these don't make any sense whatsoever. And I thought back to when I told him about the Knuckles plushie.
Yeah.
He laughed a lot longer than I was expecting him to. And it didn't click at first. It didn't click at first what happened, right? And then I told him about this when he came out from his sick child in the hospital. I told him about that, and he laughed so heartily, it triggered like, oh, hang on a minute.
He's having a laugh. He's literally having a laugh.
The thing is, right, now, all I can do is fight fire with fire. Because I can't say to my mum, I fucking hate Sonic, and I nearly fucking doxed him. My brother, let's call him Mohammed. My brother Mohammed has told you a thing which isn't true. Because then she's going to think, well, I've given him these shit gifts and he thinks I'm a fucking idiot. Right? And I've wasted my time fucking crocheting, a genuinely demonic thing. Look at it, it's fucking ugly. Right? So what? I can't do that. So what I'm just going to do is tell her that he likes something that he doesn't, and then the mutually assured destruction of inappropriate but very, very lovely gift giving continues.
Can I share something?
Please do.
I don't know. Do you have Instagram? Do you have access to Instagram?
I do have access to Instagram.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, your story reminded me of a story I saw and it's actually saved on Reels.
Oh, okay.
So I put that in the chat, in the Twitch chat for us.
By the way, when you say, do you have access to Instagram? Yes, I'm on the internet.
Well, I mean, some people don't have Instagram accounts, but I guess you have a Threads account, so you have to have Instagram.
Yeah. Okay, True. So what's hang on. So I have to share and do fucking things.
Many, many, many things.
There are too many accounts now. I have to share things and stuff.
we gotta show what it's supposed to look like. Oh, it's so cute.
So that's how it's supposed to look, right?
Yep. It looks like a yellow and green dildo.
It looks like a yellow turd with wings. That's amazing. Look, at least the thing that my mother created is
exactly.
noticeably the same sort of shape.
It's got the right dimensions.
Yeah, it
doesn't look like a banana that's been...
It is noticeably in the sort of shape of Sonic. Like, it's recognisable. That was literally looked like it had passed out of a bee's arsehole. Is what that looked like. Unbelievable. Talking
that's
of
what your story reminded me of.
Talking of ugly shaped things, shall we move on to some actual content?
Oh yeah. So where are we going to start? First of all, did you hear about the burning of the ballots in Vancouver,
I know.
Washington?
Well, technically, it also happened in Phoenix and in Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The terrorists.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
terrorists are out there literally just burning ballots
Yeah.
and burning vote deposit boxes
Yeah.
because they don't want a fair election.
We.
I can't believe this is my country.
Yeah. Well, I can believe it, unfortunately. We literally talked about it last night on the Normal Island show that I was doing yesterday. Yeah. I honestly, I genuinely think that just pointing out the fascism, as good as that is, I think, from Kamala and the Democrats more widely, you can't just point it out because it doesn't stop it.
No.
The fascists already know that it's fascism.
Yeah.
This isn't like... There are probably some people in the middle who will be like, oh yeah, maybe that's a bit weird. But like, 40% of America are still going to vote for him.
Yep.
Like, you need to actually fucking stamp this shit out. People starting to go into prison for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Just like Jan 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I think, what I'm seeing, which is I've never seen in any election in my lifetime. It happened again today. A daughter of George W. Bush
Yes.
announced that she's voting for Kamala Harris.
Right.
This follows on from in my home state of Wisconsin. Right, when I was still chief of staff for State Senator Kevin Shabilsky, there were
Again, not a real name. You made
there were
that up.
many Republicans, but amongst them were Dale Schultz, who was kind of like, I guess, like a sort of a country Republican. And so my boss and Dale Schultz worked together on conservation bills because they both like to hunt and preserve wildlife and preserve, wild areas and wild spaces for animals, right?
Yeah.
And then there was another guy who was called Robert Cowles, who is actually still in the state Senate. He's one of the longest serving senators,
Okay.
right? I heard 2 weeks ago, Dale Schultz announced that he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. And
Nice.
just in this last week, Robert Cowles said he's going to vote for Kamala Harris. There is like a big, I think there's a lot of, and the WOW counties that they talk about in Wisconsin.
Waukesha, Waukesha, and Waukesha.
Out of Ozaki and Washington. I
That
think
one.
are the three.
Yes.
The Waukesha, one of the mayor of the largest town in Waukesha, which might be Waukesha County, but Waukesha in Waukesha County, came out to say he is going to vote for Kamala Harris, even though he's a Republican.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't surprise me because, like I've said before, the distinction between the GOP and MAGA is basically meaningless now. But that doesn't mean that the people who were the GOP have disappeared.
I think you can draw a line. MAGA are the fascist wing, and the GOP now you can kind of think of like the old school Republicans that ran stuff in the 90s and early 2000s.
Exactly,
like,
but they're not they're not in any position of authority or power in
No.
the GOP anymore.
This is the people who were thought compassionate conservatism was like a winning strategy.
Or was even a thing.
Yes, they didn't understand their own base, right? And their party really has left them and just become a completely fascist, Christian nationalist
And
threat.
ironically, they're the ones that used to refer to other people as rhinos. And now they're the rhinos. It's almost a little bit delightful that the people who tricked people into voting for the leopards eating people's faces party are themselves having their faces eaten by even more leopardy leopards.
But it makes me think that there's a lot more silent. You know how we used to have a silent Tory?
Yeah, well, I used to call them fucking cowards, but yes.
Yeah, yes. I think you're going to have a lot of Republicans who can't say it out loud or feel not unsafe to say it out loud. But when they get in that ballot booth, they're going to vote for Harris against Trump.
I think there's a certain element of that. And also, I think actually, bizarrely, and it gets brought up, I think, in this thing we're going to watch, the racism at Madison Square Garden, which I think should be thought of as Nazi Madison Square Garden Rally 2.0, because it is basically an echo from 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Of the Amerika Bund. Although they didn't have an 80-foot tall George Washington, which I think, you know what, they missed a trick. Just saying. Or Mohawk Lincoln. Anyway, the racism on display there seems to have been so overt that it actually does appear to have had a backlash, both within inside the GOP itself and in the polling. There are lots of Puerto Rican people in Pennsylvania. Which obviously
in Florida.
And Florida,
and
yeah.
Michigan and
So-
Wisconsin.
So
and
and basically
and
everywhere,
Arizona
because
and
Puerto
Nevada.
Ricans are American citizens. Who
Yes.
knew? Certainly Trump didn't when he was
Nope.
like fucking basketball jump shotting paper towels to them. Anyway, just having a quote unquote comedian, which by the way, conservative comedy is just racism. Just here's me saying some racist things, and then getting very offended that people point that out. Because again, it's fuck your feelings, not fuck my feelings. My feelings are very tender and need to be handled
valid.
gently.
Yes.
Your feelings, on the other hand, can go fuck themselves. Anyway, so this Kill Tony guy, who's not a funny chap at all. Although some of the acts he's worked with have been quite good. Shane Gillis has worked with him and things in the past, so he's had some interesting guests. Although one of those guests was also Jordan Peterson, so deal with that if you wish.
Yeah.
His racism was so overt.
This is the floating island of garbage, right?
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he said that it was a floating island of garbage. He said that. What was it? That
Mexicans have a lot of babies.
Mexicans like to
or
breed.
Hispanics
like to breed like rabbits.
They don't come out, they just come in like they do to our country.
Yeah. So
Come
like
inside.
again. That's a bit like you're supposed to hide your power levels. You can't really do plausible deniability at that point.
Yeah. Oh no, it's I don't know what Latino people for Trump think. They're going to get rounded up too. Like you might think of yourself as American because you're second or third generation.
Yeah.
But those people who are going to the polls, those white people who are going to the polls to harass people, are targeting people with Hispanic and ethnic names. Your names.
Yeah,
buddy.
Mr. Fuentes.
Yeah. And also someone said it doesn't really matter what the GOP people do with the MAGA bases. I think you have to, to understand what's happening with the Republican Civil War, I'd say about 66% of the active Republican base is that MAGAfied now. I think he's managed to collect a lot of mentally unstable people.
Yes. Yeah.
Dragged in the conspiracy theorists. But there's still a rump, shall we say, of about 33%. We know that in polling a couple weeks ago, 10% of Republicans said they were going to vote for Harris. I think that the number is going up.
Yeah.
And only 3% of people who identified as Democrats say they were voting for Trump. So
And
that's
that's literally just Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's just Tulsi. And so when you think about these races are going to be won in these states by 10,000 votes, a 10% wing of Republicans. Now they're going to vote for Republicans all the way down the line besides Trump. So, we still get a turnout and help people like Tammy Baldwin and other Democrats stay in power.
And down ballot initiatives. You heard Danzy. It's a big deal.
Vote, vote, vote. But I think there's going to be a lot of ticket splitting. I think when it comes to GOP centrists and moderates,
so,
there's a lot of middle class people who grew up thinking, smoking drinking the Reagan Kool-Aid of a shining city on the hill, and kind of believing in the whiteness, the goodness of America. Kind of like they believe in the goodness of whiteness.
Yes.
And we did some stuff bad in the past, but mostly we're a good country and we stand for freedom, and everyone in the world loves us and wants to be like us.
Shining city on the hill.
Yeah, all that bullshit. And then what I basically said on Threads was, now what's happening is these white men and women now know what it's like when white people turn on people of color.
Yeah.
You were part of the ins crowd before, and you were standing outside and yelling at feminists and yelling at people of color, talking about oppression and all that kind of stuff. Well, now the white man, this orange man's turned on you. Yeah. And suddenly you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is dangerous. Fucking yeah, it's always been dangerous, motherfucker. It just didn't affect you until now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Tulsi has now officially joined the GOP. Apologies, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she was always a member. I mean, that's literally nothing changed.
That's administrative.
That's our RFK becoming an independent before becoming a Republican.
My favourite RFK this week, right? In the same video where he said that he came out to officially endorse Trump, which of course
he's desperate for anything to counter all the Republicans coming out for Harris.
So he came out with this video, and it was usual tripe.
Rah, 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 rah. I've been smoking for the last 80 years.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Like, I always think it would be a good shitpost if he came out with one of those electric things that you put to your neck. Thinking, hello, everybody. Like, if he did that bit, it would be ableist as fuck, but I would laugh, I'll be honest. I would, I'm sorry. I'm only human. It's like seeing an old person fall over in the wind. Like, you shouldn't laugh, obviously, but you do. Anyway, he came out and said that the Democrats' rhetoric was too extreme and they needed to calm down. In the same video, he said that a vote for Kamala Harris was a vote for nuclear war. Fair enough, Rob. Much love to you, mate. Anyway, shall we take a look at this? Because this blew my mind. You know Des Tiny?
I do remember Des Tiny.
Yeah, literally a guest on our show. A guest on this show.
Oh, ages ago.
Long time ago, yeah.
So long ago, yeah.
He's involved in a debate in this, a four-way debate, including a former vice presidential candidate known as...
Blitzkrieg.
No, not known as Blitzkrieg. Known as Sarah Palin.
Get out.
Yeah. So there's Sarah Palin, Des Tiny, Mehdi Hassan, and some other person.
All right, can I just pause it for a second and
Go
say,
for it.
there was like white guys had a moment on Threads like last week. I don't know if you saw this, or maybe it was the week before, like 10 days ago.
I try not to notice the whites. They annoy me.
Okay, so there's this guy Keith Edwards. He's like trying to become.
Hang on.
one of these-
Just, I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to say Keith Edwards is the whitest. You didn't need to tell
yeah.
me his race. I knew already. Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah.
And so he was saying, oh, we really have to look at why white men are not voting for the Democratic Party. And people were like, well, yeah, you can say that, but what are some of the reasons? And then he went on and said, jobs being lost and going overseas. And then white men, he slid from men to white men. And then he said, because they're not getting laid. And everyone's like, the fuck? You think, getting white guys laid is going to make them vote Democratic? And so he got dragged, all over the fucking internet.
Also, just to point out, when he says men, he already meant white men. He was just
Yeah,
clarifying
exactly.
the exact thing
Yes.
he meant.
Yeah,
When people say...
men like me.
When people say, oh, women voted for Trump. No. White women narrowly voted for Trump. Women in general voted
Yeah.
for Mr. Biden.
Yeah, put the blame on the white women where it belongs. So just hide that behind women. But that's white women fucking.
Because again, there's people, right? There's white people, and then there's political. That's it. That's it. When they talk about people, when they talk about concerns, it's white people. They're talking about white people.
Yeah, absolutely.
When they're going about economic anxiety,
And
they
then
they don't mean like a poor person in Atlanta, like some poor black family. They mean like white people.
And then there's some Travis dude, and he kind of was chipping in on this, another white guy with a hot take, and he was saying, yeah, we need more people I can't remember the first person he mentioned, or Destiny, the work that they're doing. And I was like, and I just quote tweeted him, and I'm like, you want to lift up Destiny as an example of the kind of things that would bring white men back to the Democratic Party? The guy who defended Kyle Rittenhouse, the guy who uses the R slur without apology. I think you kind of missed the whole point.
But
it's not to uphold the patriarchy;
Yeah.
it's to destroy it.
But
You don't wanna
Christy, Mr. Borelli has taken time out from defending Israeli genocide to talk about how great Kamala Harris is, and that's enough.
Yeah, clearly for some white men.
Interesting.
These are the same white men who were defending Shu 6 years ago.
True.
So anyway, let's have a look at Destiny. I mean, he is a decent debater. I will say that he's quick on his feet, and he generally has a pretty cogent. He's an ability to speak.
Well, true. But he's quick on his feet because of the low center of gravity.
Because he's pretty short. That's a short joke.
He's a short joke.
Is more popular in his personal approval rating right now than he's ever been in his entire 8-year political career.
Donald Trump's a 4-year-old when it comes to understanding any issue, but especially foreign policy. The United States economy is outperforming every other economy in the world right now under Biden's policies that ostensibly Harris will continue.
Trump actually tried to pull out of Syria, which he had campaigned on.
But he didn't
and run
criticize
a...
it, he doesn't.
Oh, this is the fucking the libertarian centrist guy. God almighty.
There are no libertarians anymore. They all got taken over by the Trump.
Yeah, they're just fascists. They're just fascists who don't know it yet.
Yeah. Oh, did you see what happened on CNN with Mehdi Hassan?
I did, yeah. The weird Zionist guy saying, "I hope your beeper doesn't go off" or something.
Yep, that guy
Basically,
got-
basically saying like, "Oh, I hope you get murdered."
Because you're a terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy got banned off of CNN. He's not
Yeah.
coming back on.
No, good. No, I hope
Yeah.
it ruins his career.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure he'll get fucking hired by the Daily Wire or something and say,
I've been cancelled.
been cancelled. Yeah, this is the thing. Some people are so brain rotted by social media that they think they can just act like it's Reddit or it's Twitter all
All
the
the
time. And that's not how it works. When you're talking to a human being and it's being broadcast to millions of people, you can't say dumb shit like, get wrecked, bitch, go kill yourself. Like, you can't do it. You can't do that shit. That doesn't fly. By the way, I was using that phrase as an example of a phrase one could not use. I was
Oh, okay.
myself using it. So therefore, if the terms of service come after me, I will fucking ruin you, you bitch. With facts and logic.
Respect the Constitution. They all consistently
No,
say
I'm
the
not
same
saying, okay,
thing.
fine. They don't respect the Constitution. We were in Syria unconstitutionally.
I feel like I should be your mother and just shut you guys up. You don't think that Biden
Is energy
thwarted
production
our
higher under
exploration?
Biden?
Yeah, but if you were their mother, they'd have had underage kids by now.
Yeah, and maybe be in jail. Is there one kid going to jail?
I don't know. But I don't. All of them have relatively normal names. None of them are called like Track or Pigeon or something, you know?
Oh, before we get on this, also, because there's been so much that's happened. Washington Post non-endorsement.
Yeah, well, specifically Jeff Bezos stepping in to make sure that was the case, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as if billionaires have some sort of class solidarity. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know that he's been basically shitting his pants? They've been trying to backpedal on this a little bit. They haven't endorsed, but have you watched the fallout from this?
I haven't seen much of the fallout.
Okay, so
yeah.
Friday after the non-endorsement, they lost 2,000 subscribers within
okay.
the first couple hours. And then the editor came out and said, "Oh, it wasn't Bezos. He didn't do it." And did a whole thing about like why the newspaper changed his position. That didn't work.
So, in order to save the reputation of the owner, he threw the newspaper under the bus. Bravo.
Yeah, basically, right?
Epic gambit, sir. Well done.
So that didn't work. And then by Monday or
Yeah.
Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. By Monday, they had lost 200,000 subscribers. And Jeff Bezos wrote an editorial trying to say, "Look, you stupid people, we want to be neutral and nobody trusts the media anyway. And everyone gets their information from podcasts. And we're just going to alienate people by taking sides." And now
Well,
it's up to 250,000
It does appear.
subscribers,
It does
and he's
appear
lost-
you have alienated rather a lot of people by not taking sides, Mr. Bezos.
Exactly. He did not understand his customer base
No.
at all. And those people are not coming back.
No, I don't think so. Apparently, Kieran's telling me they've lost 8% of their subscribers.
Yeah, 200,000 was 8%. It's up to 250,000 now.
I mean, they're working on pretty thin margins anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like,
And then
the
people-
print media is dying on its arse, you know.
And what really pisses me off is they got some people out here going, "Oh, but it does really good reporting, and you're not hurting Jeff Bezos, you're hurting the journalists." I'm like, don't put the bodies of journalists in front of the billionaire to protect them.
Yeah.
Right? Burn it down and bring out something that will have integrity. That's
Yeah.
the answer here.
I don't
It's
mind
not to
paying
keep
for-
funding
Yeah,
a pro-fascist newspaper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck you. Like, I don't care that I'm not hurting Jeff Bezos. I'm more than happy to pay to fund good journalism, which is why, for instance, the man on the screen here, Mehdi Hassan, runs a thing called Zetio. I'm more than happy to subscribe to that because they do good reporting. Mm-hmm. And they don't like back fascist bullshit.
And you know who's been doing great reporting? Rolling Stone.
Yeah,
Teen
Rolling
fucking
Stone have been
Vogue.
doing stuff for ages, yeah.
Yeah, Teen Vogue.
Hmm.
Does fucking like there are other outlets. I know
Yeah.
the Washington Post is prestige, and they get a lot of prizes. But other people can do good reporting, especially if they're not interfered with by their billionaire, a billionaire owner.
Yeah.
So he's fucked.
Also,
himself.
can I just say, like, Jeff Bezos, if your goal was to make people believe in the efficacy the ethics of journalism, how do you think you as a billionaire owner directly interfering with the editorial decisions of your newspaper makes that look less bad?
Exactly.
Like, I trust the Washington Post far less now than I did a week ago. Mm-hmm. And I didn't necessarily trust them that much anyway, but, like, the point is now, I can't believe anything they say because I know you have a direct influence over them in a way
How
that
many
is
stories got spiked?
not remotely okay. Like,
Yeah.
if I see a story about Amazon in that newspaper, I know for a fact your fingerprints are all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't trust it. So even if they're doing good journalism, I can't trust it.
And this
So
is
it's
the
not
problem.
good journalism.
This is what the BBC did. I'm sorry, this is what the Tories did to the BBC.
Yeah, exactly. Completely
They take
undermine
good
people's
yeah,
confidence. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And then they ruin it,
Hmm.
right? So that all you have is Sky News and fucking GB News.
Exactly. You don't have anyone actually doing anything vaguely.
Yeah, honest.
Well, not even adversarial, because I don't want them to be adversarial. I want them to be honest. If they're doing a good job, tell me they're doing a good job. But if they're being cunts, tell me they're being cunts. And I don't trust that the people who would want to tell me that would be given the opportunity to do so. So you're not running a journalistic endeavour then. You're running a propaganda outlet.
Yeah. And I mean, let's face it, newspapers have always been owned by rich white men.
Yeah.
Right. But some of them liked the adversarial. No, some of them, like, were actually newspaper people brought up to be in the newspaper business and believed in the role of the Fourth Estate and holding people with power to account.
Yeah.
Now people with power are buying the newspapers, so nobody holds them to account.
Yeah, basically.
Or the social media apps.
We've seen
So
the
that-
complete and utter how would you even describe it? Sonification, if you will, or Fox Newsification of
Yes.
media, where
That's
it's now
all you're gonna get.
just rich guys
Yep.
just interfering.
I mean, the fact that, like, Elon Musk didn't want people to block his posts, so he got rid of the block button, and now he claims to be the most followed person, and his disinformation makes it around the world, within a half second, and he's silencing the voices of people on the left and amplifying. He bought it to get Trump elected, so that like now Trump wants to give him a position so that he can get power and over the regulators who are stopping him from making all the money that he wants to.
I honestly don't think he had the grand master plan of trying to get Trump elected. I think he did it on the spur of a moment to look badass, and then he tried to get out of it rather than pay the $1 billion. He went, okay, I'll just buy it. And now he went, oh, well, what can I do with this?
I'll weaponize
I
it.
can weaponize it to get Trump elected. I don't think there was a grand master plan to begin with. But yeah, like, again, that's what I mean, like the kind of Murdochification of media, where a rich guy with an agenda,
A white supremacist agenda.
a white supremacist agenda, controls media narratives in order to get their politicians elected.
To protect their white power,
Yeah.
to protect their white prestige, their white, their white privilege, and everything else that so that we all have to pay the cost of their extravagance.
Yes. Anyway, oh, by the way, you said you wanted to dip after about 2 hours. That's fine. I think I'll probably carry on and finish whatever, because there's no way we're getting through this.
All right.
A 10-minute video is a 3-hour stream for us, so an hour-long
That's true.
debate is going to be a little while.
Yeah, I already moved the headphones off. So, but yeah, if we'll do another. I'm on for at least another hour and change. So
Cool.
Trump.
And you just
Is
lied
energy production
and
higher,
said
Sarah Palin?
that
It's a very simple
Biden
question.
didn't
I know
do it.
facts are not your strong point. Is energy production higher today than under Trump? It's a simple yes or no
You're
question.
an obnoxious.
I mean, I'm
Biden
obnoxious.
didn't thwart-
You're a
he
racist.
didn't
We want to play
thwart-
that game?
Yikes.
There's just over a week to
He
go in
is
one of the
good.
most consequential elections in American history. And both campaigns are finishing big. Big rallies,
Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out.
We are going to fight for the country we love.
big names,
His obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dog gothic MAGA.
big audiences,
He's so obviously coked off his nut. He's benzoed up the arse, that lad. He's honestly, he doesn't act like he normally does at all. He is charging to the finish line with his corruption and his drugs spilling out everywhere.
is
I always got more publicity than other people. I don't know exactly why. You said a lot of wild maybe.
big claims.
And not having a president of the United States who admires dictators and is a fascist.
As the
Logan
candidates make-
1875, please,
What?
play the Ben being owned at his face by the trans dude tonight.
I won't be playing that tonight, Kieran, but we can play that. Oh, actually, I can't do it tomorrow either, or Thursday, or Friday. We can do that the weekend. We can do that the weekend, okay? Get in touch with me on Saturday or Sunday, and we'll do it then, okay? And thank you for the bits, Kieran. Much love.
Their closing arguments. Uncensored is in New York City for a big debate.
Pronounce it correctly.
New York City.
True.
Well, from New York City.
New
I'm
York
Piers Morgan,
City.
Uncensored, of course. And I brought together a fascinating panel to debate really where we are with this US presidential race. Last night was this incredible rally at Madison Square Garden. I was there, first time I've been to a Trump rally, or any political rally for that matter, and it was a fascinating experience. It'd be interesting to see what my panellists have to say.
Did you zig heil? Did you join in, Piers? Because you seem to be, frankly, erect about how this went. So, can you stand up right now, or not?
About that, but the bottom line, we're 8 days from one of the most consequential elections in American history, and I want to spend the next hour with 4 very opinionated people with different opinions to thrash out the big picture themes of where we are with this race, and more importantly, who's going to win and should they win. So let me introduce them. First of all, former governor Sarah Palin. You were former governor of Alaska, and you're the vice presidential nominee, of course, in the 2008 McCain-Obama election. Welcome to you.
And she reads all of the newspapers.
All of them.
So you know she's well informed.
You know she's dyeing her hair at that
Mehdi
age, too.
Hassan, the editor.
Yeah, like, come on.
Just go, Grace Sarah.
We know how old you are, right?
She's got to be near 70 now, right?
Well, it's certainly in her 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Sarah... I don't know if I can fucking
Palin.
type.
Yeah, I've had the same problem. Not Lalin, Palin.
Oh, she's only 60.
Get out!
Yeah. 1964 in Sandpoint, Idaho.
Wow.
Is where she was born. And her kids are called Bristol, Trig, Willow, Piper, and Track. None of those are real names. Anyway.
Editor-in-Chief of Zateo News. Mehdi, great to see you again. Dave Smith, the Libertarian commentator and host of the Part of the Problem podcast. Good to see you. And Destiny, streamer and political commentator. So
there you go. That's a career resume. Oh my God! So my friend, when he came to stay, he's like, "Can we watch that debate again?" And so we went and watched the Creationist Cat governor debate for Montana, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was
Idaho, please.
Idaho, yeah, Idaho. One of the guy was actually introduced as a high school graduate. Old guy, who was like in his 70s with a big
Crystal
beard.
Meth Santa. Yes.
John Doe he's a high school graduate.
That's, you know what? That's not nothing.
50 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. When literally there were no black kids in his school because that's how fucking old he was.
Yeah, because it was before desegregation.
4 big names, big beasts in the pundit.
Not really.
Yeah.
3. Well, actually 2. And then a pair of twats from the internet. Although I suppose technically Piers Morgan is now just a twat from the internet.
Yeah.
He does what I do. He's a streamer. He doesn't
That's
have
true.
He's not on TV.
No. He's a streamer as well with a really big studio.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a bigger budget than me.
Mm-hmm.
His production values though are not great.
Military jungle brought you all together. Sarah, you were at the rally last night.
Yes.
What was it like for you?
It was an electric environment. Most of Trump's rallies are like that, though. You know, just so much energy and just a lot of enthusiasm. Last night, I think the biggest surprise, though, was outside of the arena, how much enthusiasm you could feel out there with all the red hats and all the New Yorkers who were so bold and courageous coming out for him.
No protesters. So
I didn't see any.
Secret Service told me 150 people turned up to protest. And all I could think was, back in 2016, I remember tens of thousands of people marching around the streets of Manhattan in fury about Trump.
That was when they tried to ban Muslims. Fuck.
Yeah.
So you're comparing apples to oranges. New Yorkers have seen his shit
when they
before.
say New Yorkers, they don't necessarily mean people from New York. Because I saw the electoral map of that state, and it's basically red, and then there's Buffalo, and New York City.
Yeah.
But the thing is, those little blue bits at the bottom there, that's New York City, where all of the people live. And it's one person, one vote, not one tree, one vote.
Yeah.
If it were, it might be a very different electoral map. Okay? Make sure that all of the people going into the polls are not trees pretending to be people. That's the big thing. Or people, you can be a person pretending to be a tree though, because you are still technically a person, so that's fine. If you see a twig person, that's, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But you know what would be really interesting?
What?
Is if you were a tree who didn't dress up as a person, and you pretended to be a person dressed as a tree. You'd probably get away with it. That's the trick. If there are any trees watching.
Yeah, all right. Listen to Kevin.
Where did they go?
Right. So I think that was the big difference. Was it was just in terms of a positive environment. It was so much positivity, and like you say,
Not very positive about Puerto Ricans.
Nope.
Not very positive about them at all.
Or about Hispanics, or about women, just generally.
And literally, when you're going about MAGA, it's Make America Great Again, which suggests that you think America is now shit. So I'm not entirely sure how you think that's positivity.
They thought segregation was when America was great again. You have to remember.
Yeah, that is true. Yes.
They want to go back to segregation.
the protesters seem to be non-existent.
And to be honest with you, if I was a black person, I might want to go back to that too, because mixing with white people is not fun.
Yeah, but not the whole second-class citizenship.
Not the second-class citizenship, but
no
just like
public toilets for black people.
Yeah, can we have like? Do I have to mix with these white people? They're a bit.
Well, then if it's gonna be like that, I want to go hang out with black people. I want to be with the dumbass white people.
No, too late. Too late, Christy.
I don't know if they chickened out or what, or they just didn't have it organized or however they usually roll. But yeah, they weren't there.
What do you say to those who this morning have woken up to headlines in the New York Post and many other media outlets saying it was, the nearest thing to 1939 all over again, but also specifically latching onto the comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who told what I thought was some extremely lame and defensive excuses for jokes about Puerto Ricans, about Latinos, like he told some about Jewish people and so on. None of it seemed to work. He was the first one out as a speaker. And of course, all it did was allow people who hate Trump, particularly in the media, to say, well, look, this is what we warned you about. This is what this is all about.
Oh, so he's going to start, he's on his dick riding thing then. So it's not that the guy was racist and that's inherently like applicable to the Trump campaign. This wasn't an aberration. This wasn't like this was out of the ordinary. He's had loads of racist speakers. Trump himself is a racist speaker at Trump rallies.
Yeah, when Christian pastors or priests abuse kids, they're just, a bad apple. But there's a whole barrel of bad apples, funny enough. So this is it. It's a whole like, oh, well, yeah, he said horrible things, but he's not like us. No, he does represent you. He is exactly what you are.
Yeah. So like, but his whole framing here is not that it was bad that the person said these things, but that gives the terrible bad people in the media who are just Trump haters the opportunity to make him look bad. Like, no, he is bad. He hasn't come out and condemned this guy.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He hasn't said anything. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
He
wants racists to
I
vote
didn't
for
see
him.
it. Well, fucking watch the video.
Yeah.
He's been going on for months. I don't look at Project 2025. I don't fucking read it then. Yeah. It's your job. Why everyone's talking about it? Why haven't you read it?
To be fair, he'd have to actually learn how to read first. And I think if you've got to 18, you can't read. There's no point.
Read it out loud to him.
There's no point at that stage. Just leave it. You've had 8 decades to try. You failed. So just leave it.
What do you say to people that say that?
It was Hillary Clinton who made that general accusation, the false accusation that anybody who was going to show up there at the rally was, a Nazi or Nazi sympathizer. And I think she incentivized a lot of us, me personally.
False.
You are a Nazi sympathizer.
Yeah, I was about to say, I do take umbrage at the word false there, because obviously not false. Very much so.
To get there, to be there present, to prove her wrong, to prove that, oh gosh, here's another lie, here's another mischaracterization of who Trump supporters are. So, no, there was no hint of what had happened back in 1939. Hillary, too, forgets that she was at one of those rallies. Her husband's rally was held in Madison Square Garden also. She certainly didn't...
okay. It's not the venue.
Yeah.
The venue's fine. Like, no one says the New York Knicks games are Nazi rallies. And they happen, their home games happen at that venue as well. It's the Nazis.
It's the content.
Yeah, it's the Nazis doing a rally that make it a Nazi rally.
It's the whole mass deportation cheers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Did at any point Bill Clinton say that like Mexicans are rapists?
Nope.
During this, right? Because again, it's not like it's a Nazi venue at all.
Yeah. No, it's not the venue. It's not the problem.
No.
It's the content.
She's just very, very stupid, like extraordinarily dumb.
Ascribed to herself and to her husband that same false accusation.
Mehdi, I'm sure you agree with every word that Sarah Palin has just said. I can't think of two more kindred political spirits.
I mean, if I take Governor Palin's point about going to prove something wrong, the problem is we weren't proved wrong. That rally could have proved us wrong. Donald Trump could have run a rally, and the Republican Party could have done a rally and said, what are you talking about? What a fake liberal accusation. Instead, they just served up line after line of hate, and that's the problem. Trump is who he says he is. MAGA is what we think it is. So when you tune into the rally, I wasn't there, thankfully, but when I tune in and see what was said, I mean, you just have to listen. You mentioned some of it. Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage. Black people like to cut up watermelons, not pumpkins, on Halloween. Jews are stingy. Palestinians are terrorists. Effing illegals.
His argument, Mr. Hinchcliffe, is
only one of those is true, but you have to guess which one.
Kamala Harris is surrounded by pimp handlers. She's the Antichrist and the devil, right? The neo-Nazi Great Replacement theory. Immigrants are being brought to replace us. And that's all before Trump even took the stage. That's just the warm-up act.
What's the point I was going to make? I was there. It was 6 hours. I would say...
Firstly, 6 hours is fucking ridiculous.
That is, yeah. Honestly, you need
That
a
is
nap.
too. That is too much.
That is way too much.
Yeah.
The offensive bits that you're talking about, some of them were clearly not intended the way they were. Some were. But
That's okay. As long as it was only 50% as racist as we thought it was, that's fine then, Peter.
Yeah, like, look, you know, if you shoot under your target, it's not so bad, right? It's
Exactly.
only like moderately racist, not
Yeah.
extremely racist.
Look, it wasn't total racism. He was just covering the racism spread. That's all that was happening there. It was fine.
No, you don't.
I reckon if you had 6 hours right now of Kamala Harris and her people talking about Trump, it wouldn't take them long before they're into he's the new Hitler.
Convention.
Right, but there's no but you're literally saying being the new Hitler is the same as someone calling the new Hitler the new Hitler.
Yeah.
You're as stupid as she is. Honestly, is his dick that Moorish?
Like, can you like?
Because these fucking glazers are just embarrassing.
Because this is just Trump apologia.
Oh my god, this is fucking awful. Wow, they're calling him a Nazi just because he did a Nazi rally. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, they did.
This is desperate stuff even by your standards.
Well, hang on,
I was at the DNC. I sat for 6 hours in a very
Hang
uncomfortable seat.
Right.
People did not make racist remarks. Hold on, let me finish. You interrupted my
I'm
point.
asking you a question.
Go on.
You've got a chance after.
I will,
They
don't
want for
worry.
you. But my point is, it wouldn't be long before.
Go on, yeah.
How fucking many times did Pierce interrupt Sarah Palin?
Well, no, because he was admiring the dick riding.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to do that to Trump too, yeah.
He just starts immediately speaking over him.
Yeah, of course. Well, he's a brown person.
Yeah.
He's a brown person getting uppity.
Yeah, exactly.
About the God King Emperor. So.
Before the Hitler stuff comes out. And honestly, on a scale of offence, calling someone the new Hitler, isn't that actually worse than anything else?
First of all,
Isn't calling someone the new Hitler worse than being blatantly racist? No. No, it isn't, Piers. No.
I was at the DNC. I sat there 6 hours every night in a very uncomfortable seat. Nobody called Donald Trump Hitler from the stage. So your argument falls apart. Let's talk about what actually happened last night. The governor can do whataboutism. I don't know why you're doing the whataboutism. Let's talk about what happened last night. Let me finish my point. Before Trump even got
Yes, thank you, Mehdi. Just tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Like, all I'm saying is there are two British people on this stage, and I don't think that both of them should be allowed back in the country.
Yeah.
Can we revoke Piers Morgan's... Can we do like a reverse Chaplin on him? He's out of the country, so we just revoke his citizenship and he can't get back in. And then America are just stuck with him. Like a Veruca.
Stage, we had the Puerto Ricans, the Jews, the Palestinians, effing illegals, pimp handlers, Antichrist. That was all there. Then Trump gets on stage and says immigrants are invading and occupying our country, which is the language of the far right. He talks about the press being the enemy of the people, which is straight from Goebbels. You've condemned that line. He talked about the enemy within, which is literally a Hitler line. So if you don't want to be accused of sounding like Nazis, there's a simple solution. Stop talking like Nazis.
Dave?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I think the whole Nazi comparison is really tired and played out. And by the way, I also think, like, when Trump calls Kamala Harris a communist, I don't think that really hits home. I think all this stuff is kind of silly hyperbole. I also, look, I'm good friends with Tony Hinchcliffe, so well, I'm just stating my bias.
So talk to me about his act.
Look, if you
his argument, I saw him tweeting, saying, well, I had to go at everybody. I was joking.
Well, look, this is what Tony...
Did you ever go at white people?
Nope.
Didn't hear you ever go at white people.
No white people bashing whatsoever.
So the one group that you're a part of, you didn't attack, but you did attack literally everybody else. So your defense is, I was racist against everyone but me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just racism, mate. That's just racism.
He does. And so, like, if you want to argue with me that you don't think it's appropriate to put, like, an edge...
Oh, this guy's name, by the way, Rock, is the delightfully white Dave Smith. The whitest man since the person that Christy mentioned ever.
Comedian at the beginning of your political rally, fine, but I don't think it's fair to, like, lump all those things together as if they were in a serious speech. Clearly the guy was making jokes, and if you don't like that, that's fine.
Hold on. What I quoted was not just from Tony.
Thank you. Yeah, multiple speakers said these awful things.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Hinchcliffe was Trump's childhood friend who called Kamala the Antichrist.
My point is that you were mixing in what the comedian said with what other people said. So I think they should be viewed differently. I do think that there is Donald Trump has found a way since he entered politics in 2016 to do something that's very unconventional that nobody else in politics is really doing, which is that he makes his events entertainment. He makes them comedy. When people come out to see Donald Trump, it's a different feeling than just listening to a policy speech.
That's why, I mean,
you may like that or not like that, but I do think that and it's almost like after 8 years of this, if the response from Trump critics is, you're Hitler, that's just not hitting home, because whatever it is that people are seeing, that's not it.
No, it's a show.
No, lots of them are seeing that, and they like that. And that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I called him, he's the Mick Jagger of politics, in the sense that Jagger's 80, Trump's 78. It is a show. You turn up to about 30 speakers of increasing celebrity status. It was like being at a big music festival where the band gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you're into J.D. Vance and Elon Musk and Melania Trump, and then the big one.
Wow, you sound like you're about to come.
Yeah, he's
you
so
honestly,
excited to hear this.
Like, you're literally building up to a crescendo here. You're not a journalist. You're fucking embarrassing. Holy fucking shit, mate.
Yep.
God damn. What's this?
This week, no different.
Dave Smith. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dave Smith's done work with your man before. Yeah. Tony Hinchcliffe. That doesn't surprise me. Just for anyone who was wondering. But to be fair, he did, like, state his friendship with the guy before, so, like, you know that's where he's coming from. It's not, I don't think you can say, like, he was trying to hide it or anything, because he did literally say, I'm friends with this guy, so, you know.
But you just can't use the whole, it was a joke, bro, to cover up racism.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no, I absolutely fully believe that, yes. I was just responding to Rohak in chat, but yes.
Oh yeah, no worries. Just pointing out the obvious.
What joke? Okay, to the who said this? Hang on. I'd be interested to hear what jokes he makes. He's a libertarian who's friends with the guy who said Puerto Rico was a trash island. What kind of jokes do you think he makes? I'm guessing it's not like cheeky one-liners. I'm guessing it's mostly just more racist shit. Yeah.
On the headline at On Comes the Big Rock Star. That's how he does this. Yeah. That's his old television hat on, understanding entertainment. And Madison Square Garden, of course, is an iconic venue. It's the heart of Manhattan. It's the place where you would least expect to see a Republican rally.
Not a swing state.
And at one stage last night, every single network, main network and cable network in America was taking it live, including many your old employers, MSNBC, who vowed not to take any of his rallies. for $1 million, which is what it cost him to rent that venue, he's getting about $100 million worth of publicity.
The media are making the same mistake as they did 8 years ago, and indeed 4 years ago. They're giving him the oxygen he needs.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go to MSNBC, it's a 2-to-1 in terms of who's getting, covered and talked about.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Also, is Joe Biden still alive?
Yeah, he voted. He went and stood in line for early voting with people I saw.
He can't stand, Christy. He's a corpse. He is dead.
So mean.
He's dead. What? Just, Christy, you need to get past this denial phase of grief.
I'm not denying that he's old. Oh my God. Can I, Jimmy Carter voted for Kamala. Cool.
He's dead as well. Yeah, go on.
He's not dead.
He's dead.
Not yet.
He is. No, they're both
but
dead.
I learned something about him, because we know he was old as fuck, right?
Ridiculous.
But
He's literally 100, yeah.
I want you to think about this, right?
Go on, then.
I want you to think. Guess who the first person he voted for president? Who was the first person that Carter voted for?
Okay, so he's 100, right? So let's go back 1924 plus 18 is hang on. 24, 34, 42. So Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh! He voted during the Second World War. Fucking Christ almighty.
That was the first person he voted for. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
He voted during the Second World War.
Yeah.
How are you here? Ow! Fuck me, that is mental. You are too old, sir. Please, look, I don't want to be rude, but please die. It's weird. At this point,
I didn't realize this. He's been in hospice care since 2023. Like, I always kind of thought hospice was like for the last 6 months or less.
Yeah, but he's taking the piss. He's going to be the first fucking 200-year-old in hospice care.
Yeah,
he's never going to die.
Fucking Odin, just laying there taking naps, getting older.
Unbelievable. He voted for FDR. Fucking Christ almighty. That is mental.
Yeah, I thought I would share it with you because you would appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Well, he was still, he fucking born the Ottoman Empire and it. Like, you're literally ancient history.
Never mind anything else.
Oh, I think so. I mean, if you're just like analyzing it in terms of like whether it helped him or hurt him, there's something powerful about going into your opponent's territory, selling out a big arena, and getting that type of press. So in that sense, I think it was politically a win for Donald Trump.
Destiny, where are we with this race? Because the polling suggests that it's a knife edge, too close to call. But if I'm a Democrat looking at the swing state polling in particular, I'm pretty nervous right now.
No.
Well, yeah, but you're a dick rider, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony Hinchcliffe was dropped by his agent for saying a racial slur and calling an Asian comedian a dirty, and then a word that rhymes with clink.
I don't want to clink.
But it's a racial slur for an Asian person. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, no, he's pretty racist.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He's pretty racist. Yeah, Jimmy Carter. You know who the last person Jimmy Carter should vote for? Jimmy Carter. When he runs for his second term, mate, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Carter, Biden, 2028, man.
He voted for a president before fucking term limits were a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck me. He voted in, what, the third or maybe even fourth FDR win? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's mental. That is mental. Come on.
It is.
You are too old, sir. Stop.
I think as an American, I'm pretty nervous. It feels like there is just like a totally different standard that both sides can play by. It's really funny listening to the idea that one statement in a 6-hour entire rally, can't be used to convict Trump or his campaign or the rally. Meanwhile, when it comes to Democrats, you guys will pick out like one line from somebody, and that will be fair to characterize their entire speech.
I totally
They're
accept.
absolutely not as bad as each other. Because the difference is that while Trump will
in
have
terms
jokes,
of picking out lines from lengthy speeches, I think both sides play that game equally
yeah, but the
hard.
problem is somebody will pick out, say, the Biden line where he talks about MAGA Americans, and then when you read the speech immediately after, he goes, not all Republicans are MAGA Americans, it's a minority of the party. It's just these people that deny, for instance, the election outcome, right? He'll specify, he'll clarify. Whereas for Trump, you can pick out lines And these lines are not only consistent with everything else that he says, they're consistent with the policy that he advocates for and tried to pass in government. We're living in two completely and totally separate worlds where the standards for both sides are just out of this world.
So why is it that he may win? After everything that happened in the first term, after the way it ended, after the fact he was dead and buried, really, 2 years ago. I mean, I remember Ron DeSantis being way ahead in the polling to be a Republican nominee.
Yeah, before he ever talked to a single voter.
Right, but yeah, obviously that. But actually, you could chart Trump's recovery was when the Justice Department started going after him in all sorts of different legal actions, and that is when you can see Trump's popularity starting to go up.
I totally disagree. It started to go up when he started to be more active in campaigning.
Well, but he went out to defend himself against all the legal charges.
He hasn't defended himself against any legal charge, to be clear. His defense is, I need criminal immunity. That's his defense. There was nothing was defensible. He didn't deny a single thing. He didn't say anything didn't happen. He said, I need criminal immunity from the things I'm being charged with. I can't possibly commit crimes.
Nobody has more aggressively defended themselves against criminal charges than Trump.
Name one defense. What's the defense for the Mar-a-Lago thing? What's the defense for the conspiracy to overturn the election
thing? You're conflating what I...
By the way, the...
You know, I would watch Destiny versus Pierce.
That would be good.
Fair.
That would be fucking
good. I would watch that on a daily.
Yeah, the Epic Rap Battles of History dropped their...
Oh, they're presidential?
Yeah, they're presidential. And the one... I mean, to be honest with you, it's actually not that great. But the one great line was from the Kamala person to the Trump person. Whether it's... oh, shit, hang on. What was the line? It was something like, whether it's documents at Mar-a-Lago or on Epstein Island, you spend too much time with files, or something like that. Like,
okay.
It's a fucking good line, but it's actually a little.
Not as good as an E minor though from the whole Drake.
Yes,
Lamar battle though.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean by defense with your idea of defense.
My idea of defense is like you say, this is why I didn't commit a crime. Now, I did commit a crime and I need immunity. Like, immunity by definition legally is not a defense,
but in relation to the one that he's actually been convicted of, I still think it was an absolute farce and a woeful act of self-harm by the Democrats who fueled this to go after Trump first for a bit of paper shuffling over paying a porn star off 18 for a fling.
Wow, you are actual scum, Piers Morgan.
So basically, defrauding companies and lying to banks is fine. It's like it's okay if which right guys do it. That's what you're saying.
And also cheating on your recently birthed wife or whatever. Like, not recently birthed. She recently gave birth.
Yeah.
Like, he is a pederast, but he's not like he didn't marry a baby.
18 years ago, which he denies ever having.
How many months did we have Hillary Clinton's emails being the front and center story for the news? How much did we hear about Hunter Biden and his cock and his crack addiction or whatever? Who's, by the way, still not running for president?
How can Bill Clinton, when he was actually president of the United States,
go back to the
have sex
1990s.
with an intern in the Oval Office and then lie about it to the American people, and it's not him that gets dragged through a criminal court, it's Trump over a fling with a porn star?
He did get impeached.
Yes, and
Like
he didn't pay her off. He didn't
Yeah.
fake business records and commit business fraud to do it.
Also, you'll notice that just like with the story of Walls having sex with this supposed Chinese lady back in the fucking 70s or some shit, you'll notice the quote-unquote sex scandals of these Democrats are consenting adults engaging in sexual activity. Now, you can argue that it's more than that, and that should mean something. Fine.
And the power dynamics or whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but like,
yeah,
come on now. We're talking about Trump being a fucking pederast.
Yeah.
And an admitted rapist. Because again, in that affidavit in his second divorce, he admitted to violently beating and raping his now dead wife. That happened. He was found culpable of the rape of E. Jean Carroll as well. He's a repeated sexual abuser.
I'm sorry. Hold on. And I could be wrong because I'm younger. I'm only 35. Okay. My understanding is that Bill Clinton was impeached in the House, and that Bill Clinton was.
But he was never criminally charged.
And then because he didn't. I don't think he.
Yeah, he didn't commit a crime. She was over 18, and they were both like he did a bad thing because he cheated on his wife and he lied to the country, but that's not actually illegal.
Yep. He didn't falsify business records to do it.
Yeah. Are you suggesting he should have been criminally convicted of not doing a crime?
Yeah.
Because
Apparently.
that's a very interesting legal take. I'm not sure that the judges are going to be like super happy with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Committed necessarily a crime. I think
he paid off Paula Jones $850,000.
They're not even
for a sexual
close. Bill
harassment
Clinton
case.
is disgraced.
They're not even close because he's a Democrat.
No. Bill Clinton is disgraced in the
Good,
Republican Party,
yes,
and
Esty,
Donald
yell
Trump is
over
the
him.
hero of the Republican Party. They're not even remotely similar to how the parties treat them.
Yeah, but Bill Clinton's a Democrat, and he
This
still
is one
speaks at the
aboutism of the
DNC.
time I've not seen.
Well,
we're
okay,
doing Bill Clinton now?
Yeah,
Come on.
seriously.
Well,
Like,
come on.
Yeah, I am
All
very
right,
much
let's talk
doing
about
Bill
Bill
Clinton.
Clinton. Did he overturn an election? Did he send a mob to the Capitol to overturn an
I've
election?
just told you what he did.
No, but I'm asking you what he did compared to Trump.
Well, he had sex with an intern in the Oval Office and then lied about it to the American people. Do you not think that's important?
Yes, I was against.
I'm sorry, is Bill Clinton running for president again?
Yeah.
Because didn't he already serve 2 terms? I don't think he can count. Honestly, Bill, mate, sit this one out, Will. You've done your 2 terms. It's over. Although he is still technically younger than both Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
True.
Even though he hasn't been president for a quarter of a fucking century nearly. Just saying.
Bill Clinton, you picked the wrong guy. I was never a fan of Bill Clinton. Nice try. Try again. Let's talk about Trump. He tried to overturn an election. He's not been tried for it. Do you think it's right, Piers, as someone who objected to the insurrection, that he's going into election in 8 days? You asked Destiny, why is he still doing so well? Because he was never tried. You want to talk about the DOJ? I think the DOJ is an embarrassment. I wish they'd gone after him. They didn't go after him because he's going into an election having not seen the inside of a courtroom. For Georgia, for DC, we heard him commit a crime on tape, Piers. You heard him. You heard him say to Brad Raffensperger, find me the votes. If you had done that, I'd done that, we'd be in prison right now. We wouldn't be running for re-election. That is the reality. The American people never got to hear in court all of the charges against him. You saw the Jack Smith indictment.
Just so I'm clear on this here,
Yeah.
and forget how you. Okay, Trump's guilty of all these crimes, whatever.
we don't know
When
if
you're
he's gonna go to
asking,
court.
okay, when you're asking why is he getting so much support, your honest theory is that if he had just been prosecuted more, then his people would have turned against him.
It's not monocausal. There's many reasons he's doing well.
Okay, but one of the
have
causes.
Democrats have run a bad campaign. Gaza is a factor, etc., etc.
Sure. Lots of factors.
The media doesn't know how to cover this stuff. But yes, clearly.
You think it would have hurt him with his supporters had he
Not
been
with his
tried
supporters,
for
but we know
insurrection,
nothing
inciting
hurts
an
him with his
insurrection?
supporters. I've given up on his supporters. We're talking about the people who actually are persuadable. Yes. When was he most unpopular, Dave, in his entire life? On January 7th, 2021. So
Okay.
yeah, America is a country of amnesiacs. I can say that as an American and an immigrant. People just go memory hole everything Trump did. Yeah.
For a whole year, they've gone after him legally, and right now Trump is more popular.
And every time it's made him more popular.
Right, but
every single
Trump
time.
is more popular in his personal approval rating right now than he's ever been in his entire 8-year political career. How can that be happening if it isn't actually a lot of Americans going, this is absurd?
I mean, if we're going to play the polls game, all the polls show that he's actually, the American people think he should have been prosecuted.
Okay, sir.
Trump supporters recognize that it is not Donald J. Trump, a person whom is to be supported. It's what he represents.
He doesn't know. What are you talking about? It's a fucking one-man cult.
Yeah, he
Jesus.
represents the KKK, the modern day KKK.
Thank you, Why Would Historian, for gifting a sub to the Communist Filth Degeneracy channel, Rolling Left.
Ooh, thank you.
Trump train that has been so aggressively moving forward with great intention for this country, we recognize it's what is represented on that. It's all about freedom. It's all about not allowing our country to be fundamentally transformed, as Barack Obama had promised he and his ilk that they would do to America.
He means black people. She means black people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said that back in 2008. We recognize...
When you lost. Sarah, when you took a big fat L. That one?
Yeah.
That one, okay, cool.
We don't need a fundamental transformation of America. We need a restoration of all that's good about America.
What is
whiteness?
That
White
would
people.
still be a transformation, you dopey bitch. If it changed to something drastically different and you want to change it back, that's still a transformation. You are a fucking moron. You don't understand the basic words that you are using. Stop.
the freedom that Donald Trump represents?
And that is what Trump.
Well, that's an interesting question.
Is it the freedom to not have an abortion, to have a police officer looking over you when you go to get tested for pregnancy? Is it the freedom to have a president that lives above criminal prosecution? Is it the freedom to have tariffs related to every single product that we might import into the country? What is the freedom?
We'll take one freedom that he is quite adamant about, because the majority of Americans are adamant about, and that's our Second Amendment rights.
I'm sorry. How much anti-gun legislation or executive action did Biden do? And then compare that to Trump. Biden did nothing. Trump banned bump stocks, so that's an auto loss for you. What's the next?
Well, let's talk about Kamala and her position.
Okay.
Are you saying Kamala or are you saying Kamala?
I say Kamala because I don't see any point in deliberately mispronouncing a name.
Like Trump does every single.
Even Piers is like, yeah, I'm not that much of a cunt.
Yeah, like I'm a dick, but I'm not that much of a
Yeah. Like I saw, and this sort of annoying. You know, the World Series is currently taking place, and the LA Dodgers are in it, and they're going to win anyway. Don't matter. And the LA symbol with a comma before it.
Yeah.
So it's comma
la. Yeah.
And I thought that's actually quite clever, but also very annoying at the same time. It's simultaneous. It's difficult to sum up those two emotions together at the same time, and yet I feel it.
Single time he speaks.
Well, I don't want to
Hussein Obama.
Yeah, Hussein. Yeah.
And they called him the new Hitler. So all's fair in love and war.
Excuse me, but also didn't Trump try to accuse Obama of not being born in the United States? Wasn't that his entrance into politics? Again, it's not just what he says; it's what he does. Just asking questions. And even when Arpaio came out with the birth certificate, they said, no apology for that.
Okay, so you asked about the freedoms
when you're called a Nazi,
they called Obama a communist for 8 years.
Let me finish my point.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, but if you this one point, it's all you have.
It's quite a big point because you're
it's
comparing.
not because Trump calls
Didn't
Harris
Trump
a
say
fascist.
immigrants were the poisonous to the blood of the nation or whatever?
You're comparing Trump to the most evil person in modern history,
J.D. Vance
who murdered 12 million people, who perpetrated the Holocaust of 6 million.
Hitler. The only person I know who's called Trump Hitler is his running mate, J.D. Vance.
And his last general called him a fascist.
Oh yeah, his last general, by the way, his top general said he's a fascist.
And Trump himself said he wanted to have generals like Hitler had, which would make him the Hitler in that situation.
Yes.
So he's calling himself Hitler. Okay. Well, he's certainly like. I mean, if you've got a problem with calling Trump Hitler, ask Trump himself about that.
Agreed.
The people that have worked the closest to him.
His chief of staff says he praised Hitler. Should we go down the list?
Well, they didn't praise Hitler.
Do you know more about Trump? I know you're friends with him.
He said he would like to have had the loyalty of Hitler's generals.
That's not true. He said that's not true, Piers. Let's be some facts. He said, quote,
he said that or not.
Hitler did some good things, is what he said.
He denies that. He denies saying that.
Oh, Trump denies it.
At the Charlottesville rally.
I don't know.
Piers,
I don't know
you
yet.
trust
I never met
Donald
him.
Trump over General John Kelly. Just say that to the world. I want to hear you say it.
Possibly on that.
Not possibly, do you? Yes.
You fucking ball licker. Fuck off, man. You absolute glazing fuck. Piss off.
Been denied
So
by other people who were in the
Trump
room.
lies
Other
in
people
every breath.
Other people. I don't dispute that he has a problem with the truth, but I would say.
But I still want him to be president. You are a genius, Piers Morgan. Well done.
His white man.
Bravo.
I would say that other people who were in the room at the time say he never said it.
So let's just be clear. All of the top generals and military people who worked with him, Mark Milley, John Kelly, Jim Mattis, H.R. McMaster.
They're all fired,
Mark
right?
Esper. None of them were fired, actually. No, McMaster quit. Mattis quit. Kelly quit. So you're wrong again, Piers. Piers, facts matter, Piers. I know you're pushing.
When you say quit, what do you mean? They quit,
literally walked away.
Or they were forced away?
No, let me finish because you're getting this all wrong. I know you get your talking points from Fox these days.
Honestly, Piers, that's a bad... Also, how can you scrunch your face up and not get fucking forehead wrinkles?
Oh, Botox.
Yeah, I was about to say, you look addicted to Botox at this point. Fuck, man.
You just said something that Fox says. John Kelly walked...
Because that looks weird. It looks way weirder than someone having lots of wrinkles.
Yeah, just having natural lines. Yeah, just use retinol or something like this with a vitamin A kind of like...
If you scrunch your face up and your face doesn't move...
Yep.
I'm freaked out by that. If I just see a wrinkly old man, I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever.
Yep.
You don't look better, you look mental.
I sit in the Liberal chair when I do the fight.
John Kelly walked away and Trump praised him on the way out. Mattis walked away, Trump praised him on the way out. The only time Trump started criticising them is when they pointed out stuff that he had said to them. So all these generals are lying, and Donald Trump, a man who has problems with the truth, to use your phrase, is telling the truth. Come on, Piers, it's embarrassing.
Well, but how do you, listen, I tend to agree with you. I don't know. I don't trust Donald Trump for sure. But even, like, I know a little bit about your politics, but am I really supposed to just like these generals are all beyond lying? I mean, Mattis, as you know,
No,
right?
they're not beyond
Mattis resigned because Trump actually tried to pull out of Syria, which he had campaigned on.
But he didn't
and run
criticize
a,
Trump.
no, by the way,
I agree
listen,
with you.
no,
But
he
he's
did.
not- but
He
he's
did.
not- No, he said he doesn't respect the Constitution. They all consistently
No,
say
I'm
the
not
same
saying, okay,
thing.
fine, but like, what does that even mean to them?
What do you mean, okay, fine? Dickhead, you've gone like, oh, let's say he committed all these crimes, so what? He doesn't support the Constitution, so what? Look, literally, you know when they have the guy with his hand on the Bible, he literally takes an oath to
protect and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
Unless you're Trump.
So
In which
literally,
case-
the very core, basic idea of why you would even fucking have a president, he supports the opposite of that. So why do you think it's good that he becomes president? Look, what the fuck are you doing? What could he do that would lose him the support of scum like this? What could he possibly do? He could go onto Fifth Avenue and shoot someone dead.
Wouldn't care.
Honestly, this mooted scandal involving him groping an underage person, something. If that comes out and let's say there's absolute definitive proof that it's true, I don't think it'd change the polling at all.
No, it won't. This whole thing, there was a video that's going to drop, never happened.
And it works both ways. I think the one thing that the Trump people really don't like is that the assassination attempt had no noticeable impact whatsoever. But that's on the same spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. Trump has this swirling vortex of madness around him constantly.
Yes.
To the point where he'll say and do awful things. He'll engage in all manner of obviously unpresidential, disqualifying activity. To the point where nothing ever stays in the headlines for more than a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked with the assassination attempt too. Because people went,
Yeah.
oh wow, that's crazy.
Gone.
Someone tried to kill him. And then something else happened. And we moved on. And Trump was like, no, can we carry on talking about the shot ear, please? And everyone
what
went,
ear?
no, we can't. Moving on.
Do you remember there was a second attempted assassination? We didn't even talk about that.
Didn't no one well, he didn't even hit him.
Yeah.
So like no one could like that didn't even have like a fucking action scene. There was nothing.
Yeah, that was just a gun being stuck through a fence and then a whole bunch of yelling.
Yeah.
So.
And it involved being on a golf course, and I like golf, but most people are bored by golf. No one gives a fuck.
They don't respect the Constitution. We were in Syria unconstitutionally. We were there without a declaration of war.
The game is always comparing both sides.
No,
I'm trying to
I'm
pretend
not.
that they're the
No,
same.
no,
It's not even wrong because we haven't declared war since
dude.
World War II.
Yes, I know. That's my point. The thing is, you're just projecting that I'm playing that game.
Dave,
I'm talking to him
I'm
about
agreeing-
something else.
Dave,
I'm not playing your
Dave,
dumb
I'm
game.
agreeing with you on the foreign policy. I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is,
pretend to laugh all you want
do
to,
you
but-
believe all the generals are just attacking? Forget the generals. Go through everyone. His press secretary, his vice president. We can go through the list. NBC went to 44 cabinet officials.
I do not.
And said, "Are you voting for Trump?"
Yes. Okay.
4.
Okay.
said
So let me
yes.
ask you a question. I believe that I do not trust Donald Trump. I think he's not an honest person. He's a self-promoter who will say whatever makes him look good. I believe that when Donald Trump said all of this rhetoric about drain the swamp in 2016, when he said we're not going to fight these wars anymore, when he, maybe somewhat unwittingly, called out Obama and John Brennan for the literal treason that they committed in Syria, with a capital T, arming and funding the enemy in wartime. Okay, when he said Obama created ISIS, things like that, I think he made a lot of enemies in Washington, D.C. And the idea that you could get 5 or 10 of them to come together and all say something bad about him,
I'm
I'm not.
dozens.
Okay, fine,
But
dozens.
Dave,
I don't believe them
okay,
either.
Dave, you're a smart guy. Let me just put it to you, just very simply. If I'm Mike Pence, am I not voting for Donald Trump because my family almost got killed or because Trump was in Syria? I'm going to take the simple answer that he's not supporting Trump because he saw that Trump did on January 6th. Well, that's my point.
Okay,
you can go down the list. I can be here all day telling you about former Trump officials who have turned on him. They can't all be lying.
Yeah, they can. Actually, I mean, they can. By definition, they could.
All of them
No,
are
I'm not
lying and
saying
Trump's
that-
telling the truth.
It's not
It sounds
a law.
insane.
It's
You sound
not.
insane.
Well, no, I don't. It's not a law of logic that.
No, you don't sound insane. You sound like you're lying. Like he's just lying. He knows that Trump is full of shit. He knows that Trump is sort of like Hitler. But as a libertarian, he sort of likes Hitler. He doesn't like to admit it because they pretend to be like anti-state. But he likes the strong man. He wants the daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't all be lying. Yes, you could get a bunch of people in D.C. together to lie. That's that. How do you think we got in Iraq, right? You got a lot of people in D.C. together to lie.
Let me just say,
this is the reality.
Hang on.
To support Donald Trump is that every single person is lying, but not Trump. This is the time that
no, but this is
the game that's played.
Hang on, but Destiny, what you? Hang on.
I'm just curious. One question: is there one?
I'm sorry. When did the hippy dippy break out here? What the fuck is this? Piers Morgan. Jesus Christ! Is this how far you've slipped now? You need a mute button, my friend. That's what you need. Although I'd quite like you to use it on yourself, but you know.
One other person with this track record of people around him that say he's a bad guy that you would support. Can you think of a single person with even half as many people that have worked closely with him? All of his personal people before elections, people like Michael Cohen, people like how many people in his campaign were arrested and then he pardoned immediately? People like Manafort, people like Bannon, like any one other person, just one person,
Destiny.
one person.
I'm going to say one thing to you, which is this, which is notwithstanding all your blind fury, you two, about
it's
all
not
this.
blind. It's very. We're seeing
okay.
clearly.
I would say though, what's fascinating to me is the moment I try and turn it back and say, yeah, but hang on, what about the rhetoric from your side?
So give me the rhetoric. I want to hear
the
the
Hitler, the Nazis, the Madison Square Garden is 19.
You said Hitler. We've done this before in July. Let's
literally,
play the
Hillary Clinton just said this was 1939 all over again.
The
rally. A Nazi.
Well, yeah, but that's not Hitler. Hitler wasn't at the event. It was the America Bund, which were supporting Hitler, but it wasn't literally Hitler. Literally.
Style rally. She's calling Trump supporters
I do think it's a Nazi-style rally. Yes,
so you do. So you do think he's the new Hitler?
Hold on. A Nazi-style rally does not mean you're the new Hitler.
What does it mean?
By the way,
what does
Trump,
it mean?
Hold on, you do this every time. Trump called
the
Biden.
Nazis were his party.
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
Huh?
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
What's that got to do with it?
I'm asking the question. Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
No, I'm asking you. If it's a Nazi rally, why is he not the new Hitler?
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
Who's running these new Nazis?
Is Joe Biden the Gestapo?
What's it got to do with it?
I'm asking you a question. Do you think Joe Biden is the Gestapo?
I'm asking the questions. It's my debate.
Well, okay. Well, then let me just point out to you.
Answer my question first.
I will. Joe Biden was called the Gestapo by Trump. I've never heard you criticize Trump for calling Biden Nazi.
You.
Why?
I thought we weren't supposed to do whataboutism.
Exactly.
I'm completely lost.
Exactly.
By the way, I don't care. I think it's a legitimate point you're making.
And by the way, he wasn't in the Gestapo. It's offensive. It's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, but so is it equally offensive? But you think it?
No, but you're happy to allow Trump the benefit of the doubt on that one. You're just going to skip past it.
Yep.
Actually, genuinely was a Nazi rally.
Do you see the difference between saying that people say
that it was a Nazi-style
in terms of the rhetoric that I said?
So the people.
Do you think Kamala's Antichrist? Do you think Kamala Harris is the Antichrist? You can't just ignore the facts.
Let's Sarah speak.
Wait, yes, please. Jeez, I feel like I should be your mother and just shut you guys up. I'm not your mother. You're grown men, and I have respect.
Yeah, but you're 60. You could be their mother. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but you could be.
Or your ages, if nothing else. But listen, you did just say that it was a Nazi-type rally, meaning Nazi-style rally.
Yeah, meaning people get up and say outrageously.
So who's the leader of this group?
Meaning participants are Nazi-style participants?
I'm saying people are cheering on far-right rhetoric. Do you know what the Great Replacement theory is?
No.
Do you know?
No, of course she doesn't fucking know what that is.
Well, she says it, but she doesn't know what it's called.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The Great Replacement theory.
What about
I trade in facts.
What about all the Jews in the audience that I saw? What about the Israel?
You know, Jewish people. There were Jewish people who voted for Hitler too, because they were like, "Yeah, he doesn't really mean the Jew stuff. That's just baiting." Like, what are you doing, mate? Yeah, there were Jewish people in the audience. So.
Israel flags I saw.
Israel flag means what?
Well, they may not be thinking he's a new Hitler.
Do you know some of the most far-right politicians in Europe?
Exactly, yeah. Like, rabbis, you're so fucking stupid. Most of the people who are Zionists in the world are Christian. Specifically fundamentalist Christians in the United States. The fact that there are Israel flags at his rallies does not mean that he's pro-Jewish. In fact, actually, the Christians who support Zionism do so specifically so that they can take over that land, the Greater Israel, from the Euphrates to the Nile River and all of that, so that the Antichrist can come back and battle God, and that all of the non-good Christians who will get raptured into the sky will go to hell. So all of the Jewish people will be in hell with me and Christy.
Yeah, where we'll be partying.
Well, exactly. I'm going to take over.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. The devil ain't got shit on me. I'll dunk on that bitch. Anyway, fucking Halloween party bitch. Look at who dresses like that. It's tragic. On a Tuesday afternoon, just doing his shopping. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. So actually, the Christian fundamentalists who support Israel do so on a very, very overtly anti-Semitic basis. Just saying.
Support Israel right now, including card-carrying anti-Semites across.
Why
Europe.
would Jewish people go and watch the new Hitler and cheer him on?
Why did a Jewish speaker make lots of anti-immigrant racist remarks? I mean, this is ridiculous. Muslims and Jews. A Muslim guy endorsed Trump on Friday. Does that mean Trump is pro-Muslim? Come on, Piers, you're better than this.
No, I tell you what, you're better
He's
than
not.
this.
He's not better than this, though. Obviously. He's supported Trump consistently now for years.
Say it was a Nazi rally.
I didn't say it was a
have
Nazi
to.
rally.
You did.
I didn't actually. I said it was a Nazi-style rally. There's a bit different.
When you say it's a Nazi-style rally, you're calling Trump Hitler. You are.
Yes.
Let me repeat myself. I'm repeating myself.
Yes.
I'm saying that I listened to a rally at which people said things that Nazis said. Do you deny that Joseph Goebbels talked about enemy of the people? That enemy within is a Hitler
So
line?
anyone who
That
uses
we're-
the phrase
Lying
"enemy
press.
of the people" is a Nazi.
Not anyone. When Trump
Is that what your
consistently
position is?
uses Trump language, Hitler language, when he says poisoning the blood of the immigrants, was that coincidence as well? Even after he was told that's only from Mein Kampf, and he said it again. Was that a coincidence?
But
Piers?
it was a
Was that a
Nazi rally
coincidence
to you.
Was that a coincidence?
Was it a Nazi rally?
No, it was a Nazi-style rally. People said absolutely neo-Nazi
So these
things.
people are
See,
capable
Piers,
of
you just want to
perpetrating
get
a
a gotcha
Holocaust.
line, and I want you to do with facts. Is a great replacement theory Nazi theory or not? No. Sorry, facts matter.
What
You
you're
can't
trying-
just say, I'm not asking you about headline
You're
pictures.
missing my overall
No,
point, which is this.
It's not my fault that
My
you don't
point is that
understand what
you
happened
two are
yesterday.
very exercised about the.
I'm excited about the fact that you don't
Hang
deal
on,
in
let me-
facts, Piers.
Mehdi,
The great
Mehdi,
replacement
let me get a
theory.
word in.
No. Great replacement
No.
theory is a neo-Nazi theory. Until you address that, I can't continue this conversation.
Let
because you don't know what
me
you're
come to
talking
Sarah for. I want to move to a different thing because you're not going to address the fact you think
You
they're
don't know
Nazis.
what the great replacement
You think
theory
they're a
is.
bunch of Nazis.
Piers, you almost moved on.
Yep.
You keep pulling me back in.
Really want to say?
say they're a
American and
bunch of
watches
Nazis.
both of your shows. I love watching you guys do this to each other because watching you guys do it to other people is infuriating, and when you guys go to each other, it's very funny.
And I enjoy
enjoy
it
that.
too.
It is true though. You don't deal in fact when you talk about Trump, though. I agree with him.
No, I do. I'm very.
What's the
I'm
great
good-
replacement
I
theory?
actually.
Why don't you tell your
Like, you
viewers?
This is fucking slop. This is absolute fucking cancer.
Yeah. This is Twitch level.
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
Trump being a
Hang
friend
on.
of Hitler.
I
Trump
know the
literally
great
says,
replacement
I want to
theory.
suspend the Constitution
I
if
don't
I vote
agree-
fraud.
I don't
Trump
agree
literally
with the
says
great
that the media
replacement
are the enemy
theory.
of the people.
So why
Like,
was
these
it?
are-
Why was it echoed by Tucker Carlson and Don Jr. yesterday at the rally?
I don't agree with you. What do you want me to say?
So you're yeah. He said replace. Yes, Don Jr. was speaking. He said replace the immigrants coming to replace us.
Trump was thrown a
Went through the
softball
rally.
question by Sean Hannity, and he said he'd be a dictator on day
Well,
one.
let me ask you
Hannity
about.
was teeing him up for a softball
all right, but
question.
let me ask you about illegal immigration then, Destiny. So we've seen an unbelievably large number of illegal immigrants come in during the Biden-Harris administration. Do you think this is right for America?
I don't think that Republicans think that illegal immigration is a problem right now. In fact, I'm 100% confident
That wasn't my
of that.
question.
The
I
issue,
said, do you think it's right
the issue,
that between
the issue-
7 and 10 million people
The reality
have
is,
come in illegally?
here are two facts that nobody will ever
is it
talk
right?
about. Here are two, I'll tell you, here are two facts that we do not have a problem right now with illegal immigration in the United States. We have a problem with asylum seeking, okay? That's the number one, that's a huge thing. But number two, if this was such a huge problem, why were Republicans so content to pull the plug on it when Donald Trump said, I need to leave the border open for me to run on this as an election issue?
Yep.
You know what that tells me? That tells me it was never really a problem in the first
So it's
place.
Trump's
It was
fault.
just a talking point.
It's Trump's fault.
Definitionally.
The chaos-
Wait. I gotta hear this. Do you understand? Do you agree that Donald Trump was the one that told them to pull the plug on the bill?
He said so.
Well, I don't think...
Wait. Do you agree that Donald Trump told them, do not vote yes on
I
this
can
bill?
try and answer.
Okay.
I don't think he should have been active in getting that bill pulled because it would have helped. However, and I want to bring Sarah in on this, you cannot dispute there is a massive...
So he did the bad thing. You admitted he did the bad thing, but you're going to carry on glazing nonetheless.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, again, you are
It's
literally
a
the
bad
cult
thing,
member.
but I'm still going to vote for the fascist.
Well, he's not going to vote for anyone.
Well, yeah, support.
Yeah.
Do what I can to
I
support.
mean, I am going to vote for loads of people in all 50 states. It's become happy hour tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing in Hungarian vector. In all
yes,
50
it
states.
very scary.
Yeah. And
Very
what
scary.
did I title this? Hang on. This stream is entitled.
Oh, the endorsing the ghost of Hugo Chavez.
The happy hour officially endorsed the ghost of Hugo Chavez for president.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be voting for the big H in just in Wyoming.
Yeah, but lots and lots of votes.
but like lots of votes, and you only need like 7 votes to win Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 electoral college votes for Chav.
Right there, yeah.
For the Chav man. Let's go.
Crisis at the southern border, nor can you dispute.
I'm shocked that you say that Republicans don't believe that the influx of illegal aliens across our borders is not a problem.
Why is it hiring
well,
them?
well, yeah, there's that. But also, it's the politicians. Like, your average Republican voter thinks it's a problem, partly because they're being, told
Fed
that it's a
with
problem
bullshit
by
by
Republican
Fox News all the time.
Yeah, but Republican politicians don't, because they'd have voted for the fucking bill if they did.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, what they actually want is President Trump, and that's it.
And if that means, like going against their own, in theory, policy interests, they'll fuck over America a little bit longer to get more power.
Yeah.
It is a problem, and I think it's not just Republicans who recognize that. Look at even the Democrat leaders of cities who are being overrun, their budgets being busted, trying to support the
and they all
illegals
supported the
who are
bill. They
coming
supported
in.
the bill.
Do you not think blaming Trump for everything though is a bit lame?
I'm talking about
Oh,
cities.
God.
Trump says don't do it.
But he's responsible. Yes, it's not lame.
Let me bring in Dave.
Langford. All these people said we were going to vote for the bill, and then Trump pulled the plug on it.
Rebel.
But you've not said one critical thing about Donald Trump since it started.
Actually, what I was going to say to you before I got shouted over yet again on my own show, what I was going to say to you was,
I thought it was going to be Dave and Sarah versus me and Destiny, but apparently
I think the shouting over of Piers Morgan now is appropriate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's appropriate because they don't respect him.
Nope.
And neither should they.
And he interrupts them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. He let Sarah Palin ramble incoherently for
Minutes on
ages.
end.
And that was fine, but then all of a sudden when, as soon as Mehdi Hassan fucking breathed in to begin speaking, he was like, well, no, answer the question.
Wait.
Yeah. Is Piers still slobbering on Trump's cock? Apparently so, yes, which is rather annoying. 255 says, will you go as a ghost of Hugo Chavez on Halloween? I'm British, I don't do Halloween. What kind of American bullshit is this? If I have people turn up to my house for Halloween, I tell them to go to America. Just leave me alone. We don't do Halloween. Stop it.
Apparently it's me and Destiny versus Sarah and Piers.
You always like to do this, and it's not true.
I've not heard you say one critical thing about Trump.
When Trump was president, I wrote 110 columns for the Daily Mail about Trump. When he left, I counted negative, positive. It was about a 50-50.
Great, but not today.
So
it was about a 50-50. Oh, thanks.
I don't believe that shit.
Thanks. Also, you were writing in the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's enough. At that point, we can switch off from the sentence. I think. I was writing for the Daily Mail. It's over then. Okay.
Yeah.
The rest of that sentence, I don't care about its content.
Yep.
Yeah. Will I go as the slutty ghost of Hugo Chavez? Now we're talking. Now we are talking.
Maybe on air.
Critical.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did have this. You'll have to watch it live to see if you care, Christy. I don't know. Someone did this for me yesterday, and this was my my opening meme bit of me with my massive tits.
Oh yeah, I saw that when I first came on.
That is an image, isn't it?
That's you got a nice set there.
All natural.
Yeah.
Naturally,
That totally looks natural.
It is, Christy.
Yeah.
Those dimensions are definitely possible in a human naturally.
Yeah. That is Barbie. If Barbie
basically,
was a doll.
yes.
Yeah.
Could have Trump, and I felt he's deserved it. Well, no, because I find that with you and with Destiny, with great respect to you guys, you absolutely love sticking it to him. When I try and stick it back to your own problems with your own party, you don't want to hear it.
Hey, Piers, I can assure you, I wish that I hadn't heard a bunch of racist stuff last night. I'm just coming on the show to say I heard a bunch of racist stuff last night.
Dave, let me ask you this, Dave. Trump's most powerful part of his speech last night was his first line, where he said, let me start by just saying this. How many of you feel better off than you did 4 years ago? And they all said, do any of you? And they all shouted no. I can imagine millions of...
Also, yeah, he shouted something to his own fans at his own rally, and they agreed with him. I mean, wow. It's almost like there's quite literally a self-selection bias on that one, Piers. I don't think that's a scientific sample of the American people.
Americans at home who've had an extremely tough 4 years because of massive inflation and huge cost of living problems would all be shouting no as well. That, in the end, I suspect will win Trump the election. Nothing else. I suspect it's actually going to be, well, it'll be the failure to control.
Because I'm a man and I don't think about abortion rights.
Well, look, I was worried that Kamala might not win, but now Piers Morgan has said that Trump will win.
You feel better?
Yeah, no, it's very much, he's got the Tim Pool touch. He's very 59 state landslide pilled, you know?
Yeah.
Love it.
Control the border, but it will be predominantly that people feel they are worse off than they were 4 years ago.
Well, I think the thing that really undercuts this pitch from Donald Trump is that he really means 5 years ago. Yeah. You know, like Donald Trump has to run on the first 3 years of his administration and then go, hey, that whole 2020 thing really doesn't count because, like, we got hit with this virus and the Democrats would have done the same thing.
Is it unreasonable?
And are we going to mention the fact that he's still calling it the China virus?
Yeah.
Like he's still doing that racism?
Yep.
No? Okay.
That
skip that bit.
Given it was a global pandemic,
well,
given by common consent,
okay, so here's
America performed better than most countries.
What? No, it did. What the fuck are you talking? More people died than the American fucking Civil War.
Yeah.
He Gettysburged America.
Yes. Yes. Yes, he did.
In the pandemic.
Well, it depends on how you measure.
It's just fundamentally untrue.
It totally depends on how you measure.
Economically, it is believed America performed better than most countries.
Well, we also recovered better, but Biden doesn't get credit for that.
Jeez, guys. I mean, I know it's like a week before an election, man, and everything's just got to get down to this tribal. Like, we got to win this point, man. But just for a second, I will say that it's like, look, on one...
You are on a debate show as well.
Yes.
Like, people making salient points about things you say is sort of an occupational hazard on a debate, really.
So, by the way, after this segment or this little bit, I'm probably going to go, if that's all right. You're going to keep watching, and
I'm actually not going to bother. I'm happy. I'm happy. We can leave it here if you want.
Oh, okay.
I can put my big naturals back on the screen. My milky moo.
All right, you were saying that you were going to stay on. I didn't want to.
I was going to, but I can't be bothered now. Actually.
Oh, okay.
I kind of just want to go get
a lot
some
of
food.
shouting.
And it's and this is fucking mind rot.
Yeah.
Absolute slop.
It doesn't help that Pierce is talking over people instead of being a moderator who intervenes to help people be heard.
Well, because he's not doing a journalism. He's doing a Trump dick riding effort.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Giddy up.
Literally. He has gone full reverse cowboy on the Yeti pubes.
So, Friday, I think my arm, like my Instagram pausing or my video pausing threads finger arm will be back.
That's I know what you meant, but yeah, it was.
So I've got weeks worth of stuff racked up, so I can probably keep us entertained for at least an hour and a half on Friday.
Well, that is sexy.
Yeah.
I look forward to it, and then we'll be back. Well,
election night.
Well, I was about to say, we'll probably skip Monday because we're going to do like a massive silly stream on Tuesday evening / Wednesday
Tuesday
morning.
Yeah, we'll have to find. I know that I've got Rockin' Rooster MSNBC as a source. I don't know if we can find.
What the fuck is Rocking Rooster?
Oh, it's a rebroadcast of MSNBC.
Ah, okay.
Well, there's got to be stuff on YouTube that's broadcasting that we can look at.
Oh, yeah, there's loads of there's always live broadcasts. Yeah, the BBC will probably do a fucking all-nighter as well because
so we can bip around to avoid the copyright gods.
Yeah. Also, I do love a bit of Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah,
he's really bad at journalism.
I don't know if you want to bring on No Justice MTG, but we should maybe invite Steve Chavez, Dusty. I don't know.
Not Destiny.
Not Destiny. No.
Who is the love child of Destiny and Dusty?
I don't know. Maybe reach out. I don't know. PC Myers. I don't know where he's at these days, but I'm thinking of all white men, so I needed to divide.
Sure.
Kind of.
What I did find out was I follow an account called. Hello, Abolish Reality. Thank you for raiding in, but we are literally about to end, so I'm going to raid you out into someone else in a second.
Yeah, but first we're talking about next week's election.
We are talking about next year's election. Yeah. Although it was a tangent upon a tangent because I was going to explain that I follow an account called The Depths of Conservapedia, which is a Wikipedia run by American conservatoids, and it's the most mental thing ever. and they had Satan worship or something as one of the things. And one of the people it lists as leading advocates of devil worship was PC Myers.
Really?
And I was like,
fantastic.
fuck yes! I've had a leading advocate of devil worship on my show. Go on.
Yeah, if y'all want to think about people we could invite on, you probably know some Twitchers. I don't know. There'd probably be a lot of competition. A lot of people will be commenting.
Probably. Look, if I throw out 1 million invites, and then whoever wants to turn up can turn up.
Just turn up. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, the more the merrier. You can't have too many people.
We could have our resident attorney on for a bit. If
they want to talk about the legal shenanigans. If Marcus is around.
Yes. That's
You're
a possibility.
always welcome,
Right.
friend Arena. That is, someone has sent me a... is that supposed to be a slutty Hugo Chavez? I'll be honest with you, that is, I mean, there is not a lot of flesh on show there for slutty. I'm just saying.
Yeah, not nearly enough.
That is...
But...
Look, I need all eyes on...
Is that like I Dream of Jeannie? Something?
I don't know. It's like some sort of harem shit going down.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But either way...
So who are you going to throw us over to? Or the rest of them over to, I should say.
Well, I haven't even looked, so I don't know, is the answer. Let's have a cheeky gander. Who is going? Hassan Abi is going, but he's got like 40,000 people watching.
He doesn't need it. Yeah, he doesn't need
Doesn't really need the views. Who else have we got? Jay Marianne. I'll go over to Jay Marianne. She's good. She's watching something involving your man from Pennsylvania. What's his name?
Josh Shapiro?
No, Strokey McStrokeface. What's his name?
Oh, Fetterman.
John Fetterman. There you go. She's watching a Fetterman-related bit.
Okay.
Although I like that I can just say Strokey McStrokeface, and that's enough. That gets you there, you know. What a 180 he's done in the last fucking 2 years. Jesus Christ. Anyway, go and say hello to Jay Marianne. I'll be back tomorrow with... Well, I might see if No Justice wants to do a thing, because it's quite a big day here in Britain tomorrow. The budget.
Oh, okay.
Is before Parliament, so that'll be genuinely horrific. Come and see pain as yet previously unsought by humanity. Beyond your wildest dreams, no doubt, for that. But either way, I'll be on to cover stuff. So, stay amazing, because you are amazing, chap. It's goodbye from me and goodbye from Christy. Say goodbye, Christy McChristy face.
Goodbye, Christy McChristy face.
She did the Bitty McBitty face.